Chapter 101. Amid the pleasant atmosphere between the senior and junior disciples and Gu Junqing's top-notch driving skills, they quickly arrived at the largest amusement park in Luodu, Qinglian Amusement Park. In fact, this amusement park was still part of the Gu family's assets, with the name Qing taken from Gu Junqing's name. As for the other character Lian, Gu Junqing heard from his mother, Xie Ying, that it came from another person's name. After saying this, she mysteriously smirked at him, leaving Gu Junqing quite puzzled. He had no memory of such a thing. Was some new plot about to unfold? After a moment of doubt, Gu Junqing decided not to dwell on it. His focus was entirely on his senior sister now, and he would deal with whatever came his way. "Senior sister, we're here," Gu Junqing said as he got out of the car and opened the door for Chen Lingyue, making a gentlemanly gesture of invitation. However, Chen Lingyue was indifferent to such gestures. After all, she could not even remember people's faces, so elaborate etiquette was largely wasted on her. She brushed off Gu Junqing's hand, held her head high with a boss-like demeanor, and strode into the amusement park. Gu Junqing smiled wryly, locked the car, and followed in Chen Lingyue's footsteps into his family's amusement park. He had originally intended to play the host and fulfill his duties as one, but it seemed he was relegated to the role of a mere follower. "Junior brother, this is actually my first time at a large amusement park," Chen Lingyue remarked with emotion, gazing at the enormous Ferris wheel that loomed impressively even from a distance, along with the various rides and activity areas. The surrounding crowds were massive, a bustling sea of people stretching as far as the eye could see. She had assumed an amusement park would be like a small park, and was taken aback by its grandeur and scale. How ignorant. This is owned by the Gu family. Every attraction meets world-class standards, and it spans dozens to hundreds of hectares, someone nearby sneered. "Miss, you're so beautiful all by yourself. Do you need a companion? That pretty boy beside you probably can't satisfy you," another man said, his lust clouding his judgment as he eyed Chen Lingyue's angelic face and devilishly curvaceous figure. After all, the park included activities like swimming, offering a chance to catch a glimpse of the beauty hidden beneath her long dress. Gu Junqing sighed inwardly. This was the typical treatment of a female lead. Not only did she possess extraordinary beauty, but she also exuded a strange charm that drew people near. In a typical scenario, the male lead would step in to put these nuisances in their place, but with no protagonist around, Gu Junqing had to handle it himself. He had not expected anyone to dare cause trouble on his family's turf. Offending a protagonist might only earn a beating, but provoking Gu Junqing was a different story altogether. To flirt with his senior sister right in front of him? They truly had no regard for him. A violent impulse began to stir within Gu Junqing. Should I make them disappear, or sentence them to 100 years of hard labor in Africa? If they died early, their descendants could take over. In his mind, he had already passed a death sentence. Mocking a protagonist was one thing, but to dare provoke Gu Junqing with such poor judgment, even Yang Xixue back then would have had 2 fingers chopped off before any discussion, if not for Gu Junqing's good mood after successfully winning over a female lead. The man was still staring with a disgusting gaze, as if trying to see through Chen Lingyue's clothes. However, Chen Lingyue felt nothing, as she had encountered such looks countless times. After all, it was no easy feat for a woman to climb to a leadership position in society, especially one as strikingly beautiful as her. She always had her own way of dealing with such situations. Just as Gu Junqing was about to step in, Chen Lingyue took the initiative. She believed this was the most effective way to deter those lecherous stares. She walked unhurriedly toward the man, her high heels clicking sharply against the ground. The man, mistaking her approach for compliance, grew visibly excited. He eagerly stepped forward, attempting to wrap his arm around Chen Lingyue's shoulder. But before he could make contact, she delivered a powerful punch to his face, sending him flying backward. Witnessing this, Gu Junqing immediately gestured for his people to clear the surrounding area. Fortunately, most people were not paying much attention, and no one noticed the commotion. Gu Junqing did this out of concern that Chen Lingyue might kill the man on the spot. Although the Gu family could suppress such an incident, it was unnecessary given the potential fallout. Chen Lingyue had used only a fraction of her strength in that strike, yet it was enough to send a grown man flying. As she walked back leisurely and noticed the cleared area, she knew Gu Junqing had given the order. She then deliberately swayed her hips as she walked away from him, hoping he would appreciate the beauty in life and straighten out in time. "Still want to play with this old lady?" Chen Lingyue looked down at the man, her beautiful face appearing almost sacred and untouchable under the sunlight. I won't dare. The man, collapsed on the ground, stared fearfully at the woman who, though angelic in appearance, felt more demonic than a devil in his eyes. "Is that so?" Without another word, Chen Lingyue crushed a certain part of the man's body with the heel of her high heel. The scene sent a chill down Gu Junqing's spine, and he instinctively clamped his legs together. Returning to Gu Junqing's side, Chen Lingyue asked, "You don't think your senior sister is too brutal, do you?" "Not at all. You handled it perfectly," Gu Junqing replied with a smile, though his stiff, straight-legged posture looked rather comical. "All right, let's not let this ruin our mood. Otherwise, I would have just kicked him to death. How dare he call my junior brother a pretty boy? How despicable." Chen Lingyue said this, but in her mind, she was thinking, a pretty boy means bottom. How dare he expose my junior brother's pride? In her understanding, bottoms often claim to be tops out of self-esteem. "It's fine, senior sister. Let's go," Gu Junqing said, following Chen Lingyue to find some entertainment. As they left, no one noticed the faint smirk curling at the corner of Gu Junqing's lips. Su Chen, I had not even come for you yet, and you dared to show up. The fish has taken the bait. In a concealed patch of grass nearby, a camera was recording everything. The person holding it was none other than Su Chen, who angrily punched his own leg in frustration. He had failed to capture Gu Junqing taking action. As it turned out, the beautiful woman was the one who acted. He should taste the bitterness of ruin himself. Su Chen had originally intended to capture the scene where Gu Junqing's female companion was harassed, and then personally beat the perpetrator to a pulp, for everyone to see clearly. However, he only managed to film Gu Junqing softly comforting his female companion after she had hit someone. I wonder if just releasing the video of Gu Junqing dating another woman would be enough to ruin his reputation. Forget it, it might only add to his reputation as a playboy. I'd better wait and see. Su Chen scratched his head, thinking hesitantly. Then he stealthily followed Gu Junqing and Chen Lingyue again. Chapter 102. After Su Chen left, the kicked and disabled man lay on the floor and passed out from dizziness. He had merely fallen under Su Chen's influence. Su Chen had used the half-baked hypnosis technique he learned from Ji Zuyu, which could only stir up his desires. In other words, he wasn't thinking with his brain. His entire mind was controlled by his lower instincts. And a person driven by their baser impulses is capable of anything, let alone harassing a beauty, even if she was accompanied by someone who clearly looked unapproachable. He could be considered an innocent victim, but that wasn't a reason for him to escape punishment. So Gu Junqing took action. Soon, he was carried away by some men in black. As for where he was taken, even Gu Junqing didn't know. Of course, this was because Gu Junqing couldn't be bothered to find out. It was managed by a special organization of the Gu family called the Black Prison, directly controlled by the current head of the family. The previous master was Gu Junqing, but now it had been handed over to Gu Junqing. The function of this organization was specifically to deal with the Gu family's enemies, using a variety of methods. Gu Junqing couldn't be bothered to learn the details, as usually only the lackeys of the protagonist had the chance to enter it. As for the man who harassed Chen Lingyue, it could only be said that it was his fate to face this calamity. He had inadvertently gotten involved in the confrontation between Gu Junqing and Su Chen, and was fortunate enough to enter the Black Prison to experience what only the protagonist's lackeys usually tasted. All of this was his own fault for giving in to lust and openly insulting the head of the Gu family. As for why Su Chen was here, it was because Gu Junqing had come up with the idea yesterday, during his day and night friendly exchanges with the big shark Yu Miajin. He intentionally had his two drivers, Baldi and Qiju, whose status as bodyguards had been revoked the moment Gu Junqing kicked them away, loudly plot on Su Chen's way home from work. The situation unfolded as follows. Su Chen was heading home from the company as usual. He had been ordered around like a dog by Li Xixue again today, and now, exhausted, he just wanted to go home and sleep, without thinking about anything else. Any thoughts of opportunities or improving his strength had long been worn away by the trivialities of daily life. Only his burning desire to defeat Gu Junqing remained. As for that scoundrel Zhang Feiyu, who had promised to take a nominal position at the company, he hadn't been seen since his injuries were treated the next day. What a worthless big brother. He should have just killed him with a single palm strike. Su Chen walked to the roadside, his thoughts gloomy. He had actually thought Zhang Feiyu could stand up to Gu Junqing. He must have lost his mind. Suddenly, at a street corner, he spotted a luxury car that looked somewhat familiar. Two burly men were chatting nearby. After a closer look, he realized it was a car Gu Junqing had once ridden in. This puzzled him. Why would Gu Junqing's car be here? So, he stealthily approached. With his skills now at the second rank, he was confident they wouldn't notice him. Creeping into their blind spot, he listened to their conversation. Baldi and Qiju, with their backs to Su Chen, subtly smiled, knowing the fish had taken the bait. To carry out Gu Junqing's orders, they had rehearsed several times in advance. Trained professionals, they wouldn't laugh no matter how amusing it was. Baldi, did you know the young master has recently won over another woman? Qiju asked. I know, I heard the young master has been doting on her a lot recently, Baldi replied. But I heard she's some kind of social big sister type. Can the young master really handle her? Qiju questioned. I'm not sure either, but I heard they're going to Qinglian Amusement Park tomorrow, Baldi said. That seems to be the case, Qiju noted. What should we do? The young master isn't bringing any subordinates tomorrow, Baldi worried. It's fine. What could possibly happen to the young master in his own territory? Qiju scoffed. Qiju and Baldi were loudly conspiring, their words causing Su Chen, hidden in the shadows, to narrow his eyes slightly. And did you hear? That Su Chen kid was the one young master made have diarrhea in public. And that fool Su Chen still doesn't know anything about it, Baldi added, pretending to speak cautiously while sharing secrets with Qiju. These words made Su Chen clench his fists secretly, his eyes shooting flames of anger. So it really was you, Gu Junqing. I know, but after Miss Li Xixue found out, she never spoke to the young master again, which made him quite sad, Qiju sighed, appearing genuinely worried and concerned for the young master. All right, enough talking. We've been slacking off long enough. Let's go, Baldi finished. After saying this, Baldi and Qiju drove away from the area. After a while, when he sensed no more movement around, Su Chen emerged from the shadows. He let out a breath. So it wasn't Xixue who did it, and Xixue didn't cheat on me either. But Gu Junqing, since you've ruined my reputation, I'll make sure you lose yours too, and be completely disgraced. His eyes filled with rage, Su Chen didn't overthink it. He prepared his filming equipment and some props, then began planning to stake out Qinglian Amusement Park. He even specifically scouted locations that would be easy to hide in and difficult to discover. This was how Su Chen came to appear at the amusement park. He knew the man he hypnotized and used would likely be captured by the Gu family, but he still went through with it without remorse. All just to catch Gu Junqing making a single mistake. Thus, the protagonist wasn't necessarily any nobler than the antagonist. Both were simply pursuing their own goals. As for why Su Chen didn't recognize Chen Lingyue, Gu Junqing discovered this when Chen Lingyue mentioned past events. Chen Lingyue hadn't spent much time with Su Chen, and she had changed significantly after leaving the mountain. Moreover, Su Chen hadn't contacted Ji Zuyu after descending, so he had no idea what Chen Lingyue looked like now. As for Chen Lingyue, even if Su Chen stood right in front of her, and she examined him 1,000 times, she wouldn't remember his appearance. This was how Gu Junqing could arrange everything so perfectly, making Su Chen feel more and more like he was watching others' romantic moments while filming. Was he filming Gu Junqing's social downfall, or documenting Gu Junqing's love life? From a distance, he watched as Gu Junqing gazed at the blonde beauty with doting affection, constantly checking on her and magically producing snacks to feed her from who knows where. Sometimes he would tidy her slightly messy hair after rides, and after their activities, Gu Junqing was already able to support Chen Lingyue as they walked. Watching Gu Junqing pressed close against the blonde beauty's body made Su Chen's eyes turn green with envy. Why does Gu Junqing get to have so many beauties? Why won't Li Xixue even let me touch her? Su Chen glared at Gu Junqing, who looked like he was deliberately feeding dog food, with gritted teeth. Chapter 103. To outsiders, they appeared to be a perfect couple, and in reality, they were. Senior sister, why didn't you mention you get dizzy on roller coasters? Gu Junqing sounded somewhat helpless. He was currently supporting Chen Lingyue as they walked, having narrowly avoided being vomited on by her earlier. I've never ridden one before, so I didn't know. With my abilities, how could I possibly have expected this reaction? Chen Lingyue gagged mid-sentence and rushed to a nearby trash can to dry heave again. Initially, she had thought it was child's play, wearing an expression of fearless confidence. She exuded the recklessness of a gang leader, no unnecessary talk, just pure boldness. But as soon as the roller coaster started moving, she realized something was wrong. Clutching Gu Junqing's arm tightly, she began screaming. All traces of her authoritative demeanor vanished, replaced by the vulnerability of a young girl seeking refuge beside Gu Junqing. The moment they stepped off the ride, Chen Lingyue could no longer suppress her urge to vomit. Gu Junqing's body reacted before his mind could, instinctively stepping back half a step. Chen Lingyue shot him a glare. Was that retreat serious? Gu Junqing chuckled awkwardly. After all, with his grandmaster-level combat instincts, his body had developed an automatic response to even the slightest hint of danger. Aren't you going to come pat my back? Seeing Gu Junqing still standing there, Chen Lingyue felt exasperated. Clearly, her junior brother was clueless. Even a typical straight guy would know to comfort a girl in such a situation, let alone when a beauty like her was in distress. Gu Junqing coughed lightly, realizing he might have been acting strangely. Perhaps it was the stark contrast between how effortlessly cool his senior sister had looked earlier when she crushed a man's weak spot, and how disheveled she appeared now. As Gu Junqing patted Chen Lingyue's back, he could feel the perfect curve of her spine even through her clothes. Seizing the opportunity, he decided it was the perfect moment to use his golden eyes. A faint golden light flickered in his pupils. Her grace was like light clouds emerging from a peak, her waist as slender and supple as a willow. Her skin was like pristine snow, her waist as delicate as bundled silk. Ethereal as the slender willow under the moon, her jade-like bones seemed to gather frost and snow. Though he had caught a fleeting glimpse of her beauty in the morning, this was different. Now he was actually touching her. Even through the fabric, he could imagine how smooth her skin must be. It solidified his resolve. Such a beauty. Wouldn't it be a shame not to form a guanbao relationship with her? Thus, he decided it was best to put effort into helping Chen Lingyue transform her sitting and forgetting physique. Even if the transformation failed, he had other methods, and one of those methods might be even more effective. However, that approach was not feasible for now, and would have to wait for another day. After all, it would require the assistance of the Yellow Emperor's inner cannon. He would need to cultivate day and night with Chen Lingyue to possibly help her transform, and even allow her physique to benefit him as well. But for now, his relationship with Chen Lingyue had clearly not reached that level. So, does it feel good to touch? Chen Lingyue's voice carried a teasing tone. It feels good. Only after speaking did Gu Junqing realize what he had said, leaving him slightly embarrassed. He had been so lost in thoughts about how to form a guanbao relationship with Chen Lingyue that he had slipped up. Gu Junqing coughed awkwardly, wanting to explain something. But he found that Chen Lingyue, who should have been angry, wasn't angry at all. Instead, she was looking at him with a hint of relief. This left Gu Junqing somewhat confused. Junior brother, it seems there's still hope for you. I'll work hard to help you. Chen Lingyue looked at Gu Junqing with a relieved expression, feeling that this junior brother hadn't completely gone down the path of becoming a GGE, without any chance of return. There's still hope. It seems I need to work harder. Chen Lingyue felt somewhat happy that she had managed to curb some of Gu Junqing's strange habits. Even the nausea she had earlier was gone. However, her legs were still a bit weak, so she let Gu Junqing hold her hand to give her some support. The sun set in the west, and dusk descended. The scene of the two holding hands appeared exceptionally happy and warm in the eyes of others. Su Chen, who was filming this scene from behind, nearly vomited blood. He felt that this scene was just too sweet. It was so sweet it almost made him sick. Even Gu Junqing felt that they were like a couple strolling through an amusement park. Ding. Female lead Chen Lingyue's favorability toward the host has increased by 10. Current favorability 40. Ding. The host has altered the plot. Reward, 2,000 villain points. Gu Junqing raised an eyebrow slightly as he looked at the system's notification. It seemed that not only him, but even the emotionally careless Chen Lingyue felt the same way. However, he didn't notice anything unusual from Chen Lingyue's expression or words. Everything seemed normal. If not for the system's prompt, he would have been completely fooled by Chen Lingyue. Of course, perhaps Chen Lingyue herself hadn't realized anything different, and only felt that her relationship with Gu Junqing had become somewhat closer. Gu Junqing wanted to test this. He gently scratched Chen Lingyue's palm while holding her hand. Chen Lingyue felt as if Gu Junqing was scratching her heart, a ticklish, winding sensation that transformed into a soft, lingering tenderness. She glared at Gu Junqing, signaling him to stop, but she didn't let go of his hand. This gave Gu Junqing some confidence. It seemed Chen Lingyue wasn't entirely uninterested in him. She just hadn't realized it herself. A favorability of 40 couldn't lie, even with the blessing of the female lead's charm aura, but Gu Junqing had still successfully raised her favorability to 40. It was worth noting that she was only 10 points away from the level of admiration. Feeling that his conquest operation was successful, Gu Junqing was somewhat happy. He felt that coming to the amusement park had been the right decision. Even after being the big sister for so many years, it was hard to resist Gu Junqing's tender tactics at the amusement park. Of course, the main reason was their senior-junior relationship, which made Chen Lingyue completely unguarded around Gu Junqing. Meanwhile, what Chen Lingyue was thinking was, junior brother has changed so much today. Not only did he comfort me, but now he's even scratching my palm. It wasn't in vain that I left all my subordinates behind to come to the amusement park with junior brother. Both of them felt exceptionally satisfied with their trip to the amusement park. But poor Su Chen, who had been following them, had to endure a whole day of dog food. Moreover, for some reason, he felt as though his wife had spent the day dating his enemy, while he could only follow the adulterer and his wife, taking pictures like a kook. Su Chen shook his head, dismissing such thoughts. Although he was close to uncovering the truth, this beauty was truly stunning. Through several fleeting glimpses, he felt this golden-haired woman was exceptionally attractive. No wonder even Gu Junqing had to pursue her and bring her to the amusement park. This made Su Chen extremely envious. How could such a gorgeous girl also fall into Gu Junqing's hands? Would they end up going to a hotel tonight for some guidance and enlightenment? The more Su Chen thought about it, the more resentful and jealous he became toward Gu Junqing. Chapter 104. Gu Junqing knew Su Chen was following behind him. He wanted him to follow, as it was for the best. If he did not follow, how could Gu Junqing take advantage of him tonight? But before that, he needed to complete the final stop of today's amusement park visit with Chen Lingyue. That was the Ferris wheel known as the Dream Ride in Luodu. To highlight its unique charm, Qinglian Amusement Park had deliberately made its Ferris wheel larger and more magnificent than those in ordinary amusement parks. Especially at night, when the stars twinkled with faint glimmers, the Ferris wheel's lights complemented them, enhancing its brilliance as radiant as summer blossoms. The circular frame of the Ferris wheel itself was colorful, adorned with a bright halo that made it particularly eye-catching in the night sky, like the most beautiful star overhead. The Ferris wheel at Qinglian Amusement Park had almost become a landmark of Luodu. "Senior sister, let's take one last ride on this Ferris wheel before we leave," Gu Junqing said, turning to Chen Lingyue, whose hand he was holding. Chen Lingyue hesitated, worried it might turn out to be another roller coaster-like ordeal. "It won't be like the roller coaster, will it? Otherwise, why don't we go to the haunted house instead, as it is more thrilling at night?" Gu Junqing was both amused and exasperated. He did not dare take Chen Lingyue to the haunted house, as he feared that the moment a ghost appeared, she would knock it out with one punch. If Chen Lingyue competed in formal boxing matches, she would probably be crowned the female boxing champion of Luodu. Gu Junqing could easily picture her dominating the ring. Chen Lingyue threw a punch. "With 20 years of skill behind this fist, can any of you handle it? Senior sister, it will not be like that. Besides, the view of Luodu from the Ferris wheel will be a unique experience," Gu Junqing urged, trying hard to dissuade her from the haunted house idea. After all, the amusement park staff were essentially his family's employees. "All right," Chen Lingyue agreed. Truthfully, she had noticed that most people around them boarding the Ferris wheel seemed to be couples, so she guessed Gu Junqing might be trying to woo her. She felt quite pleased, thinking that Gu Junqing was gradually heading in the right direction. A high-quality man like her junior brother should not be wasted on other men. She could not even imagine Gu Junqing ending up in a man-on-man situation. Moreover, the information she had looked up yesterday told her that to straighten such men out, they needed to be shown the beauty of women. For the sake of her junior brother's future happiness, she was willing to go all out. As the saying goes, water boils at 100 degrees, but people can die from over-researching, and there is some truth to that. It is also unwise for everyone to trust browser searches for all their problems. Gu Junqing breathed a sigh of relief and quickly led Chen Lingyue by the hand onto the Ferris wheel. The Ferris wheel stood over 100 meters tall, equipped with transparent glass cabins, each accommodating several passengers. A single rotation took at least several dozen minutes, allowing riders to fully enjoy the breathtaking scenery outside. Su Chen hesitated about whether to go up as well. He had been tailing them all day, but had not captured any video that could seriously damage Gu Junqing's reputation. On the contrary, to keep up with Gu Junqing, he had spent a considerable amount of money at the amusement park, money he could ill afford. He still owed a large sum, and was counting entirely on the success of his company's upcoming product launch. But Su Chen was confident that the product he had developed would bring in a fortune. Then it would be time to get rich, marry a beautiful and wealthy woman, and reach the peak of life. Su Chen was still lost in his fantasies, unaware that he had always been under Gu Junqing's control. In the end, Su Chen did not board the Ferris wheel. Firstly, it would be difficult for him to capture Gu Junqing's situation from the Ferris wheel, and secondly, he was practically out of money. The initial funding from the Li family had been nearly exhausted. If he spent any more, he would not even have enough for a taxi. It was better for him to wait for them at the exit of the Ferris wheel. A golden glint flashed in Gu Junqing's eyes. Seeing that Su Chen had not come up, he showed no reaction. As long as Su Chen did not leave, it was fine. As the Ferris wheel gradually rose, the entire landscape of Luo City came into view. So beautiful. Chen Lingyue gazed at the dazzling, kaleidoscopic lights of Luo City at night. Yes, truly beautiful. Gu Junqing also sighed meaningfully. However, he was marveling at the beauty of being in a high position. Gu Junqing's current status was like the Ferris wheel reaching the highest point in Luo City. He reigned over the city. Only by standing at the pinnacle could one fully enjoy the view before them. Thus, he would crush all obstacles in his path and overpower every adversary in the world. But for now, his main task was how to win over his senior sister, Ahem. Senior sister, let me show you a magic trick. Gu Junqing smiled like a fox. Oh, show me quickly. So Gu Junqing moved from sitting opposite Chen Lingyue to sitting beside her. He took Chen Lingyue's hand, made her small hand into a fist, and then covered it with his own. Her petite hand was completely enveloped by his large palm. Look, your hand is gone. Chen Lingyue looked at Gu Junqing speechlessly, never expecting such a grown junior brother to still be so childish. Seeing that Chen Lingyue's attention had been diverted, Gu Junqing snapped his other hand and produced a rose, handing it to her. His hand speed was so fast that even Chen Lingyue could not see it clearly, which surprised her. But Gu Junqing was not surprised, as he had tested his hand speed on Yumiajin before. The great musician Beethoven once said, the faster the hand speed, the higher the decibels. So Gu Junqing had specifically tested it on Yumiajin. The decibels were indeed very high, which indirectly proved that his hand speed was truly fast. It was no wonder Chen Lingyue could not see it clearly. Chen Lingyue quickly took the rose from Gu Junqing, wanting to see if there was any trick to it. But she did not notice that the small hand originally enveloped by Gu Junqing had, at some point, been interlaced with his. Their fingers were now locked together. Senior sister, tell me, why have you been so accommodating today? You're even willing to let me hold your hand. Gu Junqing lifted their interlocked hands and shook them slightly. Chen Lingyue looked at their intertwined fingers. Usually bold and carefree, never knowing what shyness was, she now felt her face flush slightly. I do not believe my charm is enough to make you tolerate me so much, Gu Junqing said with a teasing smile. He had long noticed Chen Lingyue's unusual tolerance for his little actions. Not only did she not mind him holding her hand or patting her back, which were actions with ambiguous undertones, she even intentionally or unintentionally flaunted her charm in front of him. But since Chen Lingyue was willing to do so, he was no gentleman to refuse or feel shy about it. He had always adhered to the principle of seizing every advantage, believing that failing to take advantage was foolish, and was the type to immediately escalate when given an inch. Just like with Yumiajin, after their first encounter, he shamelessly persisted in pursuing a second and third encounter with her, to the point where now Yumiajin could even take the initiative herself. Chapter 105. Chen Lingyue coughed lightly, looking at Gu Junqing with some embarrassment. She had not expected her junior brother to lay his cards on the table like this, so she voiced her thoughts. Junior brother, do you really like our master a lot? Gu Junqing was puzzled by the question. Yes, I really like our master. Is there something wrong with liking our master? This made Chen Lingyue somewhat anxious. What I mean is, are you in love with our master? That is right, I am in love with our master, Gu Junqing answered instinctively, but in the next instant, he understood what Chen Lingyue meant. Chen Lingyue had misunderstood his relationship with Ji Zuyu. In her mind, Ji Zuyu had always been male, but Gu Junqing had known from the start that Ji Zuyu was female, creating a gap in their understanding that led to this mismatched conversation. Amusement flickered in Gu Junqing's eyes. He finally understood why Chen Lingyue had been so tolerant of him, and why she would often say inexplicable things. When he expressed interest in women, she would look at him approvingly, yet when he made ambiguous remarks, she would think him hopeless. He realized she thought he was in love with someone of the same sex. He could actually use this misunderstanding to get closer to Chen Lingyue. How can you be in love with our master? That is wrong. Chen Lingyue frowned, her expression suggesting she found Gu Junqing beyond redemption. Gu Junqing replied meaningfully, why cannot I be in love with our master? He emphasized the word with, implying it was a verb, but Chen Lingyue clearly did not catch the nuance. You silly boy, you are not even listening to your senior sister, Chen Lingyue said angrily, even slipping into dialect. She had been suppressing her temper all day, trying to show her junior brother the gentle beauty of femininity, only to find him stubbornly refusing to see reason. Gu Junqing struggled to hold back his laughter, thinking of the master's charm. He was indeed captivated by Ji Zuyu, even if he had not succeeded yet. All right, senior sister, I will not like master anymore, Gu Junqing said, pretending to be wronged. This softened Chen Lingyue's anger. This was more like her good junior brother, as they could not have misfortune befall their sect. Then can I like other men? Gu Junqing now cautiously tested Chen Lingyue's limits. No. If you dare, I will break your third leg. You do not need it anyway, so you might as well donate it to someone in need. But why would you like men? Aren't women wonderful? Chen Lingyue declared expressionlessly. She did not want to hold back anymore, for if Gu Junqing did not listen, she might really take action. After all, she had been in a leadership position for years. Though she did not have any bad habits, she still somewhat adhered to the rules of the underworld, namely, believing in violence. Despite her great fondness for her junior brother Gu Junqing, if her efforts to steer him right failed, her temper might flare, and she could resort to forceful methods. She was no less domineering than a female CEO. Seeing Chen Lingyue's rising anger, Gu Junqing decided not to provoke her any further. When dealing with this kind of female lead, the only approach he could think of was to act softer. After all, his senior sister still cared deeply for him. Otherwise she would not have changed so many of her habits for his sake. He believed Chen Lingyue must dislike being touched by others. Yet despite having met Gu Junqing only a few times, she repeatedly tolerated his inappropriate behavior. Senior sister, I do not want to be like this either. It is just that I grew up surrounded by men, and no woman ever got close to me. My parents were too busy with work to pay attention to me, so that is why I turned out this way. I know it is wrong, but I feel that only someone like Master, who cares for the world, can give me a sense of security. Gu Junqing pretended to be cute and pitiful, acting as though no one loved him. As for the truthfulness of his words, only about 0.5% was real. The remaining 99.5% were pure lies. His words softened Chen Lingyue's expression. She thought it made sense that Gu Junqing might prefer the same sex. And perhaps he was not beyond redemption? It is all right, junior brother. We will take it slow. One day, you will discover the beauty of the opposite sex. Chen Lingyue comforted him, thinking that although her junior brother was wealthy, his childhood had truly been pitiful. Senior sister, could you let me experience the beauty of the opposite sex just once? Chen Lingyue was momentarily confused by his words, tilting her head as if a question mark had appeared on her face. Is senior sister not beautiful? Even though she had face blindness, how could she not know whether she was beautiful or not, given how often people praised her? Gu Junqing's gaze darkened as he suddenly moved closer to Chen Lingyue. He wrapped one arm around her waist, pulled her against him with the other, and adjusted their positions. He did not stop until their eyes met. His sudden actions left Chen Lingyue stunned. Staring into Gu Junqing's eyes, she seemed to see her own reflection. I meant the sweetness of senior sister. After saying this, Gu Junqing moved his hand from her waist to the back of her head, pressed down firmly, and their lips met. The sudden move left Chen Lingyue dazed, unsure how to react. After a moment, she quickly pushed Gu Junqing away, preventing him from continuing to kiss her. Junior brother, that was my first kiss. How could you do that without saying a word? Chen Lingyue's cheeks were flushed, her eyes dazed yet glaring at Gu Junqing after the kiss. That glare, a mix of coquettishness, shyness, and astonishment, was incredibly pure and mesmerizing. Her dreamy, crescent-shaped eyes made Gu Junqing's throat tighten. I thought senior sister was willing to help me change, Gu Junqing said, blinking innocently, making his usually mature and cold eyes appear more youthful. Chen Lingyue was left speechless, unsure how to respond. To be honest, she was still in shock. Out of nowhere, Gu Junqing had kissed her, and her first kiss, preserved for over 20 years, had been given to her junior brother just like that. Looking at his adorable expression, she felt like an old cow eating tender grass. She could not resist her junior brother's cute, pleading expressions, as they were just too endearing. Even with her face blindness, she seemed powerless against Gu Junqing's charm in those moments. If Gu Junqing knew Chen Lingyue thought of herself as an old cow eating tender grass, he would definitely argue with her. Though it was a case of the young bull grazing on older grass, he could even handle someone as mature as Ji Zuyu, let alone Chen Lingyue, whose age was not much greater than his. Yet these two blades of grass were each more stunning than the last, each possessing a unique allure. Senior sister, I have not had my fill yet. As he spoke, Gu Junqing once again domineeringly silenced Chen Lingyue, pressing his lips to hers and wantonly savoring the sweetness within her mouth. Do not, Chen Lingyue stammered, struggling briefly, as if trying to speak. Gu Junqing refused to let her, single-mindedly continuing with his own agenda. Chapter 106. It was not until the Ferris wheel was nearly at the bottom that Gu Junqing finally released Chen Lingyue. As a martial artist, her breath control was exceptionally deep and prolonged, so she did not experience issues like oxygen deprivation. However, no matter how long she could hold her breath, she could not withstand Gu Junqing's relentless kissing and sucking. This left Chen Lingyue's face flushed red before Gu Junqing even let her go. Chen Lingyue now understood what it meant when people said Gu Junqing had a silver tongue. I told you not to stick it in, Chen Lingyue mumbled, pouting. It was her first time, and she did not want things to progress too quickly. Senior sister, keeping your mouth shut is not a good habit. If we did not do this, your mouth would feel dry and uncomfortable, Gu Junqing said with a meaningful, mischievous grin. His words were concise and to the point, making it easy for Chen Lingyue, who was new to such experiences, to immediately catch the innuendo. Blushing, she shot Gu Junqing a glare. She realized Gu Junqing was anything but pure. The Ferris wheel had reached the bottom, and Chen Lingyue quickly moved away from Gu Junqing, coughing lightly before resuming her usual demeanor as the carefree female leader of the underworld. Gu Junqing followed Chen Lingyue out of the cabin, his expression shifting uncertainly. System, why has not Chen Lingyue's favorability increased? He found it strange that the system, which usually provided timely reminders, had not notified him of any increase in favorability this time. He refused to believe that after all that, with their tongues even tangling, Chen Lingyue's favorability had not budged at all. The system's emotionless, synthetic mechanical voice echoed calmly in Gu Junqing's mind. It noted that the lack of increase in the female lead Chen Lingyue's favorability might be due to two reasons. First, the host had failed to touch Chen Lingyue's heart. Second, Chen Lingyue's physique forcibly prevented her from developing feelings for the host. Gu Junqing's expression shifted completely. If her favorability remained stuck at 40 and could not break through to 50, how could he ever successfully pursue Chen Lingyue? After all, the gap between 40 and 50 in favorability was significant. One indicated mere goodwill, while the other represented genuine admiration. The first possibility was clearly impossible. Chen Lingyue's obvious reactions proved she had been moved. That left only the second possibility. It seemed Gu Junqing would have to resolve the issue of Chen Lingyue's sitting and forgetting physique before he could continue pursuing her. Having figured this out, Gu Junqing calmed himself. Then, using his golden eyes, he scanned the exit and spotted Su Chen hiding in a remote corner, a meaningful smile gradually spreading across his face. It seemed it was time for Su Chen to play his part. He refused to believe that, under extreme temptation, Su Chen would not take the bait. "Senior sister, it is so late already. Why do we not stay here for the night?" Gu Junqing caught up to Chen Lingyue, who was striding ahead confidently. Chen Lingyue eyed him suspiciously. "You are not just trying to get into my pants, are you?" Gu Junqing's face stiffened for a moment. Although he was indeed tempted, how could he admit it so bluntly? "Senior sister, you have misunderstood me. I prefer men, have you forgotten?" Gu Junqing declared righteously, though inwardly he repeated frantically, "I like women, I like women." Chen Lingyue looked at him with a knowing smile. At this point, she did not believe a single word Gu Junqing said. Given how skilled his kissing was, enough to make her feel utterly captivated, did he really think she knew nothing? As the leader of the Western District's underground forces, even if she had not tasted pork, she had at least seen a pig run. Given her experience, anyone who did not already harbor disgust for Gu Junqing would likely be utterly disoriented by his kissing skills. They were so intoxicating they could make one lose all sense of direction. It was simply overwhelming. Even now, Chen Lingyue still felt a lingering numbness from Gu Junqing's kiss, as if it had the power to suck away her very soul. She refused to believe this was Gu Junqing's first kiss. Considering his obvious identity as a rich second-generation heir, she was certain he had deceived many young girls out of their first kisses. "Junior brother, do you really think your senior sister is that foolish?" Chen Lingyue rolled her eyes, unwilling to entertain him further. She must have been truly out of her mind to believe Gu Junqing's fragmented words again. However, noticing how late it had gotten, she decided to let him off this time. "Fine, remember to book 2 separate rooms." Chen Lingyue shot a sidelong glance at Gu Junqing, her tone firm and leaving no room for doubt. As his senior sister, it would be utterly humiliating if she were to sleep with her junior brother just like that. Although she said this, she knew deep down it was because of her own issues. She did not know why, but she was rarely affected by external influences. Even after years as a leader, she had never been tainted by the darkness around her. Perhaps it was her detached indifference towards such matters that allowed her to remain untainted by the filth, like a lotus flower emerging unstained from muddy waters. Moreover, she seldom allowed herself to relax as she had today, because whenever she did, she felt as emotionless as heaven and earth, impersonal, and treating all beings as mere straw dogs. Her face blindness was a result of this state. This terrified her, driving her toward extreme actions, as embracing violence made her feel human again. But today, beside Gu Junqing, she felt no merging with the cosmos, only happiness and relaxation. Thus, she bore no resentment toward his kiss, regardless of his intentions. Instead, she felt a faint joy and comfort. After all, Gu Junqing's skills were so formidable that his kiss had left her utterly captivated. "All right, senior sister, I will go book 2 rooms first. You wait for me at that bar, and I will join you shortly." Gu Junqing pointed to the bar ahead, before heading to a hotel quite some distance away. As he left, a dark thought crossed his mind. "Su Chen, do not disappoint me." In the distance, Su Chen had not heard their conversation, but saw that Gu Junqing and the blonde beauty had parted ways. This thrilled him immensely. Having only witnessed Gu Junqing holding the blonde's hand earlier, their separation now suggested Gu Junqing had not succeeded yet. If he could take the lead, Gu Junqing would surely be in agony, Su Chen thought with a cold smirk. Watching the blonde beauty enter the bar, he hurried after her, hoping to strike up a conversation. Inside the bar, Su Chen found the stunning blonde sitting bored at the counter, playing on her phone, which made him ponder how to approach her. After all, he had seen her impressive skills that morning. The way she effortlessly crushed a man's weak spot sent chills down his spine. He was genuinely afraid that if he tried to hit on her, he might end up getting beaten. The hesitation held him back. Perhaps because the female and male leads appeared simultaneously, Su Chen spotted an opportunity. He noticed a group of people eyeing the lone blonde girl, clearly wanting to approach her but unsure how to go about it. After all, there really were not many idiots left these days who would try to force their way into a conversation. Chapter 107. Watching the group hesitate to make a move, Su Chen felt a strange smile curl his lips. He considered himself a divine doctor. Since they were not acting yet, he decided to give them a little push. He wanted to play the hero and save the beauty, which would make it easier to strike up a conversation later. He hoped to win the beauty's heart and outpace Gu Junqing. The plan seemed appealing, so he quickly put it into action. He passed the group and discreetly scattered some aphrodisiac powder from his sleeve. They instantly lost control and began to act recklessly. Under normal circumstances, they would not dare cause trouble on Gu family property. Influenced by the powder, they became completely irrational. Their state was identical to that of the man who had harassed Chen Lingyue earlier in the day. They even insulted the formidable Gu Junqing. Their eyes were filled with greed and lewdness. No longer considering the consequences, they moved to take the stunning blonde beauty away. Watching this scene from afar, Gu Junqing could not help but sigh. He realized that many instances where a protagonist saves a beauty are merely farces orchestrated by the protagonist himself. A single coincidence might be believable, but repeated occurrences suggested a self-directed drama. The burly leader flashed a predatory and vulgar smile. He waved his hand, signaling his underlings to surround Chen Lingyue. She could not even be bothered to glance at him. Such insignificant characters were nothing but an annoyance. The tavern did not have any security guards. No one would believe that anyone in Luodu would dare cause trouble on the Gu family premises. A bartender stepped forward with a frown. He asked the group if they truly dared to cause trouble there. The leader laughed off the concern. He claimed the wild wolf gang feared nothing, caring only for the gorgeous beauty. The man tore open his shirt, revealing a wolf tattoo on his chest. He stared at Chen Lingyue with overwhelming desire. She sat lazily on the high bar stool, exuding an alluring charm with every movement. Her golden hair cascaded over her shoulders, accentuating her snow-white skin. Her long legs resembled flawless white jade without a single imperfection. Tipsy from drinking, and now affected by the aphrodisiac, the man no longer cared about the Gu family. He believed that taking the woman for even one night would be worth dying for. Chen Lingyue began to feel irritated as the men surrounded her. She thought it was a good thing her junior brother was not there to see her violent side. She decided to take action, as she had never heard of this wild wolf gang. At that moment, Su Chen entered the scene. He had witnessed the blonde beauty's skills earlier, fearing the group would end up beaten to a pulp if he did not intervene. He stepped forward confidently. He told them the lady was with him, and they should leave now. The leader sneered at him. He asked if the pretty boy thought he could steal women from him. Su Chen was practically overjoyed. Anyone who had ever seen Gu Junqing would call Su Chen ugly, but no one had ever referred to him as a pretty boy before. Li Xixue always called him a toad, making him believe he was hideous. This compliment felt almost flattering. He decided he could go easy on them, as his strength would be more than enough to handle them. He flashed them an internationally recognized gesture, the middle finger, to provoke them into action. He asked if they were too scared to fight but still trying to pick up girls. Su Chen's infuriating demeanor made the burly men clench their fists. They had initially hesitated to provoke the Gu family, as they were merely flirting. Su Chen's provocation left them feeling like they had no choice. Gu Junqing mentally scoffed at the scene. He signaled the prepared Gu family members to enter the bar. He had no intention of giving Su Chen a chance to show off. The bar doors swung open, and a swarm of men in black suits poured in. The spectators sighed in disappointment, realizing a brawl was not going to happen. Seeing the number of men bearing the Gu family insignia, the thugs' legs turned to jelly. Their heated heads finally cooled down. The lead thug muttered to himself, bewildered by his earlier recklessness. There was nothing he could do as he and his lackeys were dragged out by the Gu family members. Su Chen watched them being hauled away, filled with regret. He felt he should have acted sooner. He should have just fought instead of prioritizing showing off. He wondered how he was supposed to strike up a conversation with the beauty now. He decided to muster the nerve to approach her. He asked if he could buy her a drink. Chen Lingyue looked at him curiously. She could not quite place his face, but his voice sounded vaguely familiar. This gave her a slightly favorable impression of him. Since he had stood up for her earlier, she did not want to outright reject him. She agreed to the drink since her junior brother would not arrive for a while. She tossed her hair and turned away, ignoring Su Chen. She still had a nagging feeling she had heard his voice somewhere before. She and Su Chen had not seen each other in years, so she did not recognize him. Su Chen happily went to the front counter. He asked the busy bartender for 2 drinks at 50 yuan each. The bartender told him they did not have drinks at that price. He explained that the cheapest drink started at 298 yuan. Su Chen's face froze. He realized he only had enough money for 1 drink now. He handed over his last 300 yuan to the bartender, feeling disappointed but determined. He looked at the colorful cocktails and felt excited to enjoy the company of a beautiful woman. Chapter 108. Su Chen picked up the glass of wine, his other hand discreetly sprinkling in some specially prepared powder. It was the same substance he had administered to the 2 men earlier, and when used on males, it would fill their bodies with intense arousal. However, when used on women, this powder not only acted as an aphrodisiac, but also prevented them from detecting any physical abnormalities. It would make women believe they were simply developing feelings for the man, ultimately leaving them completely at his mercy. Su Chen smirked sinisterly. This secret formula was something he had learned in a remote cave, and it was his first time using it on a woman. If it proved effective, he planned to use this powder on all of Gu Junqing's women. Don't blame me, beauty. Blame Gu Junqing instead, Su Chen muttered inwardly. The thought of possibly betting one of Gu Junqing's women tonight excited him, and his body began to stir with anticipation. The corner of his mouth twisted into a sly grin. Here's your drink, miss, Su Chen said obsequiously, putting on an exaggeratedly eager expression. He had grown accustomed to playing the simp in front of Li Xixue, so this act came naturally to him. What kind of wine is this? Chen Lingyue frowned. Su Chen stiffened momentarily before hastily boasting, Miss, this wine cost me over 2,000. It might not look like much, but it tastes wonderful. His earnest explanation somewhat convinced Chen Lingyue, and she took a small sip. It's acceptable, she said before setting the glass down and returning to her phone. Seeing that Chen Lingyue had drunk some of the wine, Su Chen was overjoyed. He watched her for a while and noticed she seemed slightly dizzy, a sign the drug was taking effect. Miss, are you all right? Nothing, I just feel a bit warm and lightheaded, Chen Lingyue murmured, her eyes hazy and her lips temptingly parted. Su Chen stepped closer, feigning concern. Miss, you seem dizzy. Come, I've booked a room. You can rest there for a while. Seeing Chen Lingyue lower her head without responding, Su Chen approached with a wicked smile, intending to support her. So this was your plan all along? Su Chen stared in shock as Chen Lingyue lifted her head, her gaze icy cold, showing no signs of being affected by the aphrodisiac. How are you unaffected? Su Chen could barely contain his disbelief, as he never expected the drug to fail. It had worked exactly as described when he used it on the two men earlier, but he wondered why it had failed with Chen Lingyue. Explain yourself. You've been following my junior brother and me since morning. What are you plotting? Chen Lingyue looked at Su Chen's flustered state and asked impatiently. With her third-level cultivation, it was easy for her to detect Su Chen, who had only recently reached the second level, tailing her and Gu Junqing. However, since her junior brother was nearby, she had initially assumed Su Chen was one of Gu Junqing's guards. Based on her understanding of Gu Junqing and his demeanor, it was easy to deduce that he was likely a member of the Gu family. Even though she was his senior sister, the Gu family would naturally be uneasy about him spending time with a figure like her, who operated in the underworld. So, having a guard wasn't unusual, and she hadn't paid much attention to this insignificant follower. But after Gu Junqing left, this little mouse had followed her into the bar, which puzzled her. That was why she decided to test him and see what he was up to. From the looks of it now, he was probably just a perverted person lusting after her body. As for why Chen Lingyue wasn't affected by Su Chen's powder, she had prepared in advance, as the sip of wine she drank had long been enveloped by her inner energy and sunk into her dantian. She planned to expel it after this matter was settled. After all these years in the underworld, there was nothing she hadn't experienced, so how could she casually drink wine handed to her by someone else? Su Chen's tricks, like playing the hero to save the beauty, bored Chen Lingyue, and she didn't want to waste words on him. Chen Lingyue gathered her inner strength and struck out with her left palm towards Su Chen's chest, the palm wind whistling fiercely. If this strike landed squarely, it could kill Su Chen outright. Seeing the palm strike coming, Su Chen's face changed drastically, as he hadn't expected Chen Lingyue's strength to be so formidable. He hastily sidestepped to dodge, but he didn't anticipate that Chen Lingyue had a follow-up move. With her right hand clenched into a fist, she delivered a heavy blow to Su Chen's abdomen. The force of the punch was so immense that it sent Su Chen flying. After landing, he immediately spat out a mouthful of blood. Judging by your dodging skills, you don't seem like a nobody. State your name. Su Chen, spitting blood, stared at Chen Lingyue in shock, wondering how she could be so powerful. His ability to evade just now was clearly not that of an ordinary person, as her palm strike had been fast enough to be invisible to anyone below the second rank. Chen Lingyue walked over coldly, looking down at Su Chen from above. The scuffle hadn't caused the slightest change in her expression. This was the demeanor of an underworld female leader, a stark contrast to how she behaved around Gu Junqing. She thought that with such strength, his motive might not be her body, but more likely that he was an enemy of her junior brother. If someone with this level of strength opposed her junior brother, it could even threaten his life. At this thought, even her nature, fond of fighting but averse to killing, couldn't suppress a surge of murderous intent. How dare he oppose her junior brother? She might as well kill him outright. As long as there was any threat to Gu Junqing, she didn't mind getting her hands bloody. By now, Gu Junqing felt he had watched enough of the show. He didn't want Su Chen to die at Chen Lingyue's hands just yet. If Chen Lingyue were to find out that the Su Chen she killed was actually her own junior brother, she would be devastated. So now was not the time for Su Chen to die. Senior sister, what happened? Gu Junqing timely feigned a very surprised expression, walking in as if he had no idea what was going on. It must be said, Gu Junqing's acting skills were truly Oscar-worthy. That touch of surprise and bewilderment made it seem as though he genuinely knew nothing. As soon as Gu Junqing approached, he worriedly took Chen Lingyue's small hand in his. Seeing that Gu Junqing had returned, Chen Lingyue suppressed her murderous intent towards Su Chen. Take a look. Do you know him? Chen Lingyue casually pointed at Su Chen, who was collapsed on the ground. Isn't this Su Chen? I feel like I haven't seen you in a long time. Gu Junqing pretended to be very surprised, looking at Su Chen with a puzzled expression. But Su Chen didn't want to speak right now. He was still struggling to believe how he had been defeated so easily. He was at the second rank now, so were Gu Junqing's women already this powerful? Moreover, Gu Junqing actually addressed her as senior sister, and Su Chen felt as if something had slipped beyond his control. He had always believed that Gu Junqing's strength was rather unremarkable, just like on the night he went to rescue Zhang Feiyu. He had examined Zhang Feiyu's injuries, and based on the severity of those wounds, Gu Junqing's strength could only be at the first rank at most. Wait, Su Chen seemed to recall something, and his pupils instantly widened. Chapter 109. He carefully treated Zhang Fei's injuries to assess Gu Junqing's true strength. He discovered that Gu Junqing's techniques actually contained the force application methods of his own sect's cultivation art, the profound gate technique. At the time, he did not pay it much mind, thinking it was merely a coincidence. But now it appeared that Gu Junqing had actually taken a master, and was practicing his sect's techniques. When he connected all these dots, he seemed to understand what had really happened. He carefully observed Chen Lingyue's face, and noticed some resemblance to the youthful face of his senior sister from his memories. Trembling, he raised his hand. Are you Chen Lingyue? Chen Lingyue also frowned. What had she just heard? Classmate Su Chen? Hearing Su Chen's question, she instinctively replied, "What is it?" Su Chen's eyes widened in disbelief. "Senior sister, I am your junior brother Su Chen. I am your Chener." The sudden turn of events left Chen Lingyue unable to believe what was happening. At first, she thought Su Chen was just a scoundrel. After fighting him, and discovering his considerable strength, she suspected he harbored hostility toward her junior brother, Gu Junqing. But in the blink of an eye, she found out he was actually her other junior brother, Su Chen. "This plot twist is something even dramas would not dare write," Chen Lingyue murmured. This nearly made Gu Junqing lose his composure, requiring great effort to suppress his laughter. "Why are you here?" Chen Lingyue asked Su Chen with a frown. Although she knew Su Chen had descended the mountain, she did not know his whereabouts. Last time, when she spoke with Li Xixue through Gu Junqing, she learned that Su Chen had not even contacted their master after leaving the mountain. This made her quite angry, feeling that Su Chen was like an ungrateful wretch. Now suddenly encountering Su Chen in such circumstances left Chen Lingyue somewhat speechless. Everything indeed seemed magical. "Wait, senior sister, why did Gu Junqing just call you senior sister?" Although Su Chen had pieced everything together, he still could not believe that Gu Junqing had actually taken Master Zhu as his teacher. "Because you have been unreachable, you did not know. Master has taken on another disciple, and it is Gu Junqing." Then again, someone who does not even contact their own sect after leaving the mountain probably would not care to know, Chen Lingyue added sarcastically. "Senior sister, I have just been too busy," Su Chen explained. "Really? Too busy to remember Master's birthday? Too busy to remember that Master told you to come find me after descending the mountain?" Chen Lingyue was deeply disappointed in Su Chen. She never expected him to become like this. Su Chen fell silent. Although he truly had been busy, he had indeed forgotten about his master. Not wanting to continue this topic, he quickly changed the subject. "Senior sister, why was Gu Junqing allowed to become a disciple too?" Su Chen asked indignantly. Although his current situation was his own fault, he still blamed everything on Gu Junqing. "Gu Junqing's talent is 100 times better than yours, and he is 100 times more filial too," Chen Lingyue said with increasing disdain for Su Chen. When she spoke with Li Xixue on the phone, she had specifically learned from her that Gu Junqing had been injured, and was treated by her. During the treatment, Li Xixue discovered that Gu Junqing's cultivation talent was far superior not only to Su Chen and Chen Lingyue but even to herself. In fact, she had long intended to take on a disciple. Even if Gu Junqing had not brought it up, she would have planned to accept him as her disciple, as this was her only chance for revenge. This also explained why she had been unusually tolerant of some of Gu Junqing's behaviors, not solely due to his charm. After Chen Lingyue learned of all this, under Li Xixue's instructions, she began treating Gu Junqing, her junior brother, with exceptional kindness. Gu Junqing was their sect's hope for vengeance. It was only after discovering that her master, Li Xixue, had a formidable enemy, that Chen Lingyue decided to descend the mountain and establish her own influence. This was also why she dared not use the Suanmen art, a distinctly recognizable technique. As for Su Chen, her junior brother, after their conversation, she realized he had lost contact with both their master and senior sister, leaving her deeply disappointed in him. When Su Chen heard Chen Lingyue's words, he nearly spat out another mouthful of blood. Glancing at Gu Junqing's beaming face, his expression darkened, and his pent-up frustration finally overwhelmed him. Piffed, cough. Su Chen clumsily turned over and spat out fresh blood. The system notified that the host had caused the protagonist Su Chen to lose mental balance, seizing 100 points of luck and gaining 2,000 villain points. Chen Lingyue, however, remained unmoved. Her feelings for Su Chen had never been strong to begin with. After Su Chen's various actions today, from drugging her to plotting against her, her goodwill toward him had plummeted to the freezing point. Moreover, she had never placed much importance on such emotions. The sitting and forgetting physique had not only altered her physical constitution, but also reshaped her perspective on certain feelings. This made her inherently less prone to emotional attachment than ordinary people. Originally, Li Xixue was the only person who mattered most to her, but now Gu Junqing had joined that rank. As for Su Chen, her junior brother, she had no intention of maintaining any further contact. Initially, she had held high hopes for Su Chen's descent from the mountain, believing they could make a name for themselves in Luodu. That was why she had written to Li Xixue, asking him to assist. Although Gu Junqing's arrival was clearly a better choice, she still felt a pang of sorrow seeing Su Chen reduced to this state. "Explain yourself. Why have you been following me and junior brother Gu Junqing all day?" "Because Gu Junqing framed me." Hearing this, Su Chen resentfully recounted everything he had overheard from Gu Junqing's subordinates. He spilled it all. How Gu Junqing made him publicly suffer from diarrhea, how he was jealous and wanted to eliminate him to take his fiancée Li Xixue, and so on. Chen Lingyue cast a sidelong glance at Gu Junqing. Is what Su Chen said true? Seeing that Chen Lingyue only lightly questioned Gu Junqing in this manner, while treating him with interrogation, Su Chen felt a chill in his heart at the stark contrast in their treatment. Gu Junqing feigned helplessness. Senior brother Su Chen, I do not know why you have such an impression of me. Do I have any reason to target you? Moreover, Li Xixue and I are close friends, as you well know. Why would I need to eliminate you to get her? And the claim that I am jealous of you is utterly baseless. What aspect of you is there for me to envy? Besides, it was clearly you who provoked me first. After speaking, Gu Junqing spread his hands, wearing an expression full of question marks. He successfully made Chen Lingyue once again think how adorable her junior brother was, and she felt an urge to ruffle his hair. Chen Lingyue's heart felt as if tickled by an itch. She coughed lightly and regained her composure. Su Chen, do you have anything else to say? Anyway, all I heard was how you envy Gu Junqing's family background, looks, and character. It is you who has been opposing Gu Junqing all along, Chen Lingyue said seriously. She compared the two in various aspects and realized the gap was indeed substantial. In every aspect, Gu Junqing could be said to completely outshine Su Chen. Yet he still claimed Gu Junqing was jealous of him? She nearly laughed aloud when she heard that. Chapter 110. Hearing these words, Su Chen was momentarily stunned. He looked at Chen Lingyue with disbelief, having thought that his senior sister would uphold justice for him. Instead, not only did she doubt the truth of his words, but she also sarcastically remarked that he was unworthy of being compared to Gu Junqing. He mentally compared the gap between himself and Gu Junqing and realized it was almost as wide as Chen Lingyue had implied. In every aspect, it seemed he currently fell short of Gu Junqing. Ding. The host's exceptional qualities have caused the protagonist to feel inferior. Reward, 2,000 villain points. Gu Junqing looked down at Su Chen, who could only speak while lying on the ground, with a faint smile. He had a better way to deal with Su Chen's fate, one that would not leave him with a reputation for fratricide. After all, Su Chen was technically his senior brother. If he were to execute Su Chen personally, it would be difficult to explain to either Ji Zuyu or Chen Lingyue. Su Chen gazed despairingly at Chen Lingyue. No matter what he said now, it seemed his senior sister would not believe him. This stirred resentment in him toward Chen Lingyue. Senior sister, why don't you believe anything I say? Why? I'm your junior brother too. Why won't you trust me? Su Chen roared frantically at Chen Lingyue. Oh, I get it now. You're having an affair with Gu Junqing, aren't you? He was beginning to lose his sanity. So you only trust Gu Junqing, is that it? I'm your junior brother too, and we've known each other longer. Why do you trust him over me? Is it just because he's better looking? Su Chen looked utterly wretched, battered both physically and mentally. He felt on the verge of a complete breakdown. Chen Lingyue remained unruffled, her expression unchanged as she calmly observed Su Chen. That's right. After all, Gu Junqing's good looks come with good reasoning. Good looks come with good reasoning. What a perfect phrase. Su Chen let out a bitter laugh. So it's true, you and Gu Junqing are involved, aren't you? I saw you holding hands. I'm going to tell master. You shameless pair. Gu Junqing could barely hold back his laughter. If Su Chen knew that not only was Chen Lingyue on Gu Junqing's side, but even his own master, Ji Zuyu, was almost Gu Junqing's woman, his mentality would likely shatter completely. Gu Junqing stepped forward and taunted. And what do you think master would do if we told him that you tried to drug your senior sister? Su Chen choked on his words. I didn't know she was my senior sister. Oh. So it's acceptable to drug someone just because you didn't know she was your senior sister? Or because she might be my woman? Gu Junqing spoke sharply. His goal was to dismantle Su Chen piece by piece, to strip him of his beliefs, his senior sister, and even his master, to utterly shatter everything he held dear. Su Chen was now completely speechless, because that was exactly what he had thought. Whatever Gu Junqing wanted, he would seize. If he couldn't have Gu Junqing's women, he would destroy them. From the very beginning, his hatred for Gu Junqing had been festering, his jealousy deepening, plunging into an unfathomable abyss. The black hole in the human heart is difficult to fill. Seeing someone you hate living well brings discomfort, while seeing them suffer brings even greater joy than your own happiness. This is human nature, perfectly normal. The line between good and evil lies in whether you unleash the monster within your soul. Gu Junqing's method of dealing with Su Chen was to unleash the monster within his soul. He wanted Su Chen to understand that their lives were in stark contrast. This would create extreme psychological imbalance in Su Chen, intensifying his jealousy, thereby luring him into actions unbecoming of his protagonist status. This would significantly diminish the luck of Su Chen, this protagonist. Gu Junqing's mastery in manipulating people's minds was truly unparalleled. Su Chen, do you have anything else to say? Chen Lingyue's cold voice reached Su Chen's ears from above. If you have nothing more to say, I will fulfill my duty as senior sister, and punish you on behalf of our master. Su Chen's expression changed, and he let out a bitter laugh. Isn't my current punishment enough already? Chen Lingyue's face remained impassive as she explained the reasons, and delivered the punishment. The injuries you just sustained weren't the sect's punishment, but rather retribution for drugging others. You deserved it. Our master long ago said that martial arts and medical skills are means of self-protection, not to be used recklessly to bully the weak. Yet you not only attempted to drug your senior sister, but also used powders on ordinary people. Moreover, according to junior brother Junqing, you've been using your martial arts to humiliate others at school, attacking ordinary people, even sending several to the hospital from your beatings. Your crimes warrant our master personally cleansing the sect and expelling you. However, since our master is currently absent, I cannot overstep my authority as senior sister. Now I announce the sect's punishment. Your martial arts will be abolished, both arms broken, and you will be expelled from the sect pending our master's descent from the mountain. After speaking, Chen Lingyue struck Su Chen's dantian with her palm, dispersing all his qi strength and internal energy, completely abolishing his martial arts. She then pressed 2 fingers into the meridians of Su Chen's arms, severing them directly. Even with Su Chen's medical skills, recovery would be impossible. After completing the punishment, Chen Lingyue looked coldly at Su Chen. She still felt some pain in her heart. After all, he was still her junior brother. Yet he had become like this. Having heard from Gu Junqing about Su Chen's actions at school, whether it was beating classmates until they were hospitalized, or using his medical skills to make others suffer terribly, she was deeply saddened by Su Chen's transformation. The pure, good child she remembered before descending the mountain was gone forever. What Gu Junqing described were all actual events that happened to Su Chen at school. None of it was fabricated. These things truly occurred, as Su Chen, being a protagonist, was naturally prone to provocation. It was true that Su Chen had beaten people until they were hospitalized, and had used his medical skills to make a rich second-generation heir who provoked him incapable of having children. Tianlin High School didn't only have Gu Junqing as a rich heir, there were plenty of second-generation heirs from wealthy families. Su Chen didn't just provoke Gu Junqing, he challenged and humiliated many people, making numerous enemies. Of course, some of this was facilitated by Gu Junqing's manipulations. This also explained why the news of Su Chen defecating during an exam spread throughout the school, and even beyond, making him known as the king of shit outside Tianlin. Gu Junqing had little involvement in spreading this news. It was mainly those whom Su Chen had humiliated who organized it spontaneously. They wanted to ruin Su Chen's reputation completely to get their revenge. Gu Junqing watched from behind the scenes as Su Chen clashed with various rich heirs, to ensure the wealthy second-generation heirs did not suffer a complete defeat, yet not fully assisting them either. He merely maintained the struggle between both sides. This served to divert Su Chen's energy, preventing him from focusing on improving his strength. Additionally, it reduced Su Chen's opportunities for fortuitous encounters, as chances to rescue beauties in distress had almost entirely been seized by members of the Gu family. Many of the Gu family's subordinates had recently gotten married. These were the 4 fundamental strategies Gu Junqing employed to deal with Su Chen, the protagonist. Divert his energy, sever his opportunities, shatter his mindset, seize his mentor. Chapter 111. It could be said that Gu Junqing had formulated this strategy after Su Chen's appearance. Even though many plotlines had already deviated and were no longer as specific as described in the book, Gu Junqing still relied on certain fixed events to devise a strategy for defeating Su Chen, the protagonist. Senior sister, junior brother, I won't dare anymore. Please don't let me die. I beg you, I beg you. After his martial arts were crippled, Su Chen struggled to his feet and knelt before Gu Junqing and Chen Lingyue. He groveled like a dog, begging for mercy. Ding. Protagonist Su Chen's martial arts have been crippled. Host gains 200 points of luck. Ding. Host has altered the plot. Host gains 20,000 villain points. Seeing the system's notification after Su Chen's martial arts were crippled, Gu Junqing's lips curled into a faint smile. After being injured by Chen Lingyue, Su Chen could still rely on his internal energy to stabilize his condition. But now, with his martial arts crippled, if he didn't receive treatment, it wouldn't be long before he succumbed to his injuries. Fearing death, he had no choice but to kneel before Chen Lingyue and Gu Junqing, begging for mercy this once. Whether it was Lin Tian, Su Chen, Zhang Feiyu, or even some future protagonist, as long as their intellect could not surpass Gu Junqing's, they would all be treated like playthings in his hands. Someone like Su Chen did not even require Gu Junqing to use force personally. He was crippled effortlessly and left to beg like a dog for Gu Junqing's mercy. If you had known it would come to this, why did you act the way you did? A flicker of pity crossed Chen Lingyue's eyes. Even though she was the one who had crippled Su Chen, her junior brother's unusual behavior made it impossible for her to stand by and watch him die. Senior sister, let me handle this. Gu Junqing stepped forward, looking at Su Chen kneeling on the ground, a sense of satisfaction flashing in his heart. After all, in the book, the villain had knelt before Su Chen in the same way, begging for his life. But Su Chen had clearly refused, even going so far as to embrace the woman who should have belonged to the villain, mocking him for groveling like a dog before ending his life with a single palm strike. The books Gu Junqing obtained from the system always started from the villain's perspective, following their story until their death. Because of this, Gu Junqing had always felt a sense of empathy for these villains. Perhaps this was the system's purpose, to heed the pleas of villains across the realms, beseeching Gu Junqing to avenge them. Gu Junqing waved his hand, signaling some members of the Gu family to take Su Chen away. He did not want Su Chen to die just yet. Take him to the hospital. Once everything settled down, the bar was left with only Gu Junqing and Chen Lingyue. The sudden turn of events had caught everyone off guard, leaving an awkward silence between the two. Junior brother, was all of this arranged by you? Suddenly, Chen Lingyue looked at Gu Junqing with a half-smiling expression. Gu Junqing's heart tightened at once, but his expression remained unchanged. After all, Chen Lingyue's favorability had not yet reached 50, and there was still a chance it could drop. It was best not to give her any leverage. What are you talking about, senior sister? Chen Lingyue studied Gu Junqing's face suspiciously, but found nothing amiss. She waved her hand dismissively. Never mind, I won't pry into your affairs. Whatever you plan to do, you must never end up like Su Chen, understand? And you must always be filial. Chen Lingyue admonished him. Gu Junqing solemnly agreed, his expression serious. But in his heart, he thought, what do I want to do? Of course, it's you and our master. I have filial piety, but perhaps my filial devotion has become somewhat distorted. Gu Junqing thought with some wickedness in his heart, but maintained a serious expression on the surface. Seeing Gu Junqing's earnest expression, Chen Lingyue finally felt relieved. She did not care what Gu Junqing was thinking, nor what he intended to do. As long as he did not betray their sept, that was enough. Senior sister, let me mix you a drink. Wanting to lighten the atmosphere between them, Gu Junqing voluntarily took on the role of bartender. Chen Lingyue raised her eyebrows, looking surprised. You know how to mix drinks? Just passable. Please forgive me if it doesn't taste good. Gu Junqing said modestly. He had drawn the skill of an advanced bartender from the system, though he rarely used it normally. However, being an advanced bartender was enough to surpass most bartenders, so he was quite confident about satisfying his senior sister. Gu Junqing walked behind the bar and contemplated what drink would suit his senior sister best. He did not want to be like that country bumpkin Su Chen, casually ordering any random drink for her. What is the point of drinking if you are just chasing the taste of alcohol? Some people drink seeking momentary pleasure from alcohol, obtaining an imaginary identity, as if in a dream. Some drink to extend the distance of rational control, searching for authenticity amidst chaotic symbol systems and madness. Some drink pursuing the harmony of various flavors, experiencing them, then projecting their own lives onto them. The world's paths are narrow, but the wine cup is wide. Thus, drinking is actually the most particular about atmosphere, especially when it comes to cocktails. Of course, everyone is different. The true flavor of human life lies in simple joys. After thinking for a while, Gu Junqing decided it would be better to create an original cocktail for his senior sister. This way, he could tailor the drink according to Chen Lingyue's temperament and the emotional changes after today's outing. Considering the ingredients and liquors, Gu Junqing decided to use tequila as the base, complemented by various other ingredients. Watching Gu Junqing concentrate on mixing drinks for her behind the bar, Chen Lingyue's previously depressed mood eased slightly. She comforted herself, if it's over with Su Chen, then it's over. This junior brother is much more well-behaved. Then she focused on admiring Gu Junqing's elegant posture while he mixed drinks. She saw Gu Junqing focused on the glass in his hand, his slender fingers holding a silver spoon with technical precision, quickly stirring the ice cubes in the glass without making a single sound. Gu Junqing gently picked up the prepared golden liquor, slowly and evenly pouring it into the glass. With various other steps, he completed the color scheme of this drink. Gu Junqing also thoughtfully added cherries as garnish, adding brightness to the drink. He felt this drink perfectly matched Chen Lingyue's temperament. Senior sister, it's ready. Come taste it and see how it is. Gu Junqing smiled as he pushed the drink toward Chen Lingyue, thoughtfully providing various services for her. This made Chen Lingyue feel somewhat comforted. This one was indeed more well-behaved. Chen Lingyue took a small sip, feeling the rich texture of the drink, carrying fresh fruit aromas, and the distinctive fragrance of tequila. The feeling of this drink perfectly matched Chen Lingyue, fiery on the outside, yet exceptionally cool and detached in her innermost heart. Junior brother, what's this drink called? After finishing her drink, Chen Lingyue's eyes lit up. Senior sister, this drink was specially crafted for you. How about calling it Moon's Beauty? Gu Junqing smiled, feeling quite pleased with his naming skills. Chen Lingyue, however, shot him a disdainful look. Why didn't you call it Ocean Blue instead? Moon's Beauty is hardly any better. Gu Junqing's expression stiffened. He thought this senior sister was perfect in every way, except for her tendency to challenge him at every turn. It was just like during their kiss earlier. After he had conquered her territory, she still attempted to sound the horn of counterattack and invade his domain. Fortunately, his silver tongue had managed to suppress her efforts completely. This filled Gu Junqing with smug satisfaction. Having a nimble tongue certainly had its advantages. Chapter 112. After Su Chen was sent to the hospital, Gu Junqing paid him no further attention. His fate was practically sealed by now. Moreover, killing him outright would only earn the displeasure of Chen Lingyue and Ji Zuyu. Since Su Chen had not been expelled from the sect yet, Gu Junqing decided to employ the borrow a knife to kill strategy, which could also win him favor with the two women. Gu Junqing smiled at the thought. He took a sip of the wine he had mixed for Chen Lingyue. Junior brother, that is my wine. Chen Lingyue pulled the glass away with a hint of displeasure. She had been savoring it sip by sip, reluctant to finish it too quickly. But Gu Junqing had nearly downed half of it in one go. Senior sister, you were not even satisfied with the name I gave it. How can you call it your wine now? Gu Junqing laughed. She had just mocked the name he suggested, and now she was claiming ownership of the drink. The name Moon's Beauty you came up with really is not appealing. Chen Lingyue rolled her eyes. After a moment of thought, she spoke. Junior brother, let me name it instead. How about Qing? It means we are completely innocent, ha ha ha. Chen Lingyue burst into laughter after suggesting the name. This time, it was Gu Junqing's turn to roll his eyes. We are innocent. Then who was it that said on the Ferris wheel, Junior brother Junqing, do not put it in. Gu Junqing raised an eyebrow, imitating Chen Lingyue's tone from that moment on the Ferris wheel. The remark made Chen Lingyue flush with anger. She kicked Gu Junqing under the table. However, inspired by Chen Lingyue's naming approach, Gu Junqing suddenly had a better idea. Senior sister, how about we call this one Ling Junyu? I think it sounds better, and it combines 2 characters from your name and 1 from mine. Chen Lingyue looked puzzled. Wasn't it almost the same as what they had just discussed? Does it have any special meaning? She asked. After thinking for a while and failing to come up with anything, she let it go. My name is sandwiched between your Lingyue, meaning if you welcome me with open arms, I will spare no effort in teaching you. Gu Junqing said this with a straight face, as if he were entirely serious. Chen Lingyue rapped Gu Junqing on the head. I am your senior sister. If anyone is teaching, it should be me. What could you possibly spare no effort to teach me? She scoffed. Besides, have I not welcomed you enough? I even gave you a key to my place. Chen Lingyue frowned, her brows furrowed. She felt her junior brother was being unruly again. Was he implying she had not treated him well enough? Gu Junqing stifled a laugh and conceded. After all, his innuendo was clearly lost on Chen Lingyue, who preferred fighting over studying. If he had to take a hit for it, so be it. Gu Junqing was determined to stick with this name. In the end, Chen Lingyue agreed to the name. This drink would be exclusively hers, Ling Junyu. Oh, by the way, senior sister, here is the hotel key. You can go rest first as I have some matters to attend to. After finishing the wine, Gu Junqing bid farewell to Chen Lingyue. Chen Lingyue took the key indifferently and left without a second thought. She remained unconcerned with what her junior brother had to do. Gu Junqing watched her leave with a smile. It faded slowly after she was gone. Let us go. Time to check on my dear senior brother. Gu Junqing stepped out and spoke to the Gu family subordinates hidden around him. Yes, young master. The group acknowledged. By the way, young master, how should we deal with the members of the Wild Wolf gang who caused trouble earlier? A bodyguard in a black suit sought instructions. Do you really need to ask me? Gu Junqing frowned. The black-clad bodyguard smiled wryly. Young master, was this not your order? Any matter, big or small, involving you, your master, your senior sister, or the other young mistresses must be reported to you. Gu Junqing shook his head. With the imminent capture of Su Chen, his main focus had been on that matter. He pondered for a moment before speaking. Even if the Wild Wolf gang members were manipulated by Su Chen, they ultimately provoked my senior sister. In that case, eliminate the entire Wild Wolf gang, leave no one behind. After saying this, Gu Junqing left. The black-clad man accepted the order and departed. He was specifically assigned to carry out Gu Junqing's commands. If this were ancient times, he would be equivalent to a eunuch announcing imperial decrees for the emperor, though he never admitted to this comparison. With just one command from Gu Junqing, the entire Wild Wolf gang faced utter destruction. That night, all the underground forces in Luodu City mobilized. They had received orders from their leaders to besiege a gang called the Wild Wolf Gang. Though the Wild Wolf Gang was not large in Luodu, it still had dozens to nearly 100 members, making it a moderately sized gang. Li Xixue received a phone call. Realizing it was from the Gu family, he immediately straightened his posture. He knew that although he was now the leader of the underground forces in 3 major districts of Luodu, all of it was bestowed upon him by Gu Junqing. Just as Gu Junqing had given him everything, he could just as easily take it all away. What truly frightened him was the power the Gu family wielded. No wonder the 4 great families paid little attention to Luodu's underground forces. Gu Junqing had likely unified them on a whim. Thus, Li Xixue always obeyed the Gu family's commands without question. Moreover, Gu Junqing had long won his sincere admiration. He remained in awe of Gu Junqing's strategic mind. With effortless planning and maneuvering, without even showing his face, Gu Junqing had enabled him to seize control of 3 districts so easily. Li Xixue could hardly believe it himself. Only when he met the former leaders of the other districts, who had once been his equals, did he fully accept the reality. Seeing them now bowing and scraping before him made Li Xixue even more cautious. He carried out the Gu family's orders with utmost dedication, especially since this particular command was personally decided by that formidable young man, Gu Junqing. If the Gu family were a dynasty, then Gu Junqing was like its young monarch, leading the entire family to ever greater strength. After hanging up the phone, Li Xixue issued an order for his underlings to mobilize and capture all members of the Wild Wolf Gang to hand them over to the Gu family. A small gang like the Wild Wolf Gang actually dared to provoke the Gu family. Li Xixue mused with a sigh. Even he would not dare cross the Gu family, yet this mere 100-member gang had the audacity to cause trouble on their turf. Suddenly, he received a call from a trusted subordinate on the front lines. Boss, it seems we have encountered another force also targeting the Wild Wolf Gang. They appear to be underlings of that madwoman from the West District. Li Xixue hummed in surprise and thought for a moment. No matter. Tonight is not the time for unification. The Gu family has not authorized us to start a war now, so let us just cooperate to eliminate the Wild Wolf Gang together. Chen Lingyue had just finished a phone call, instructing her subordinates to deal with the Wild Wolf Gang. Although she did not care about those who offended her, since they dared to cause trouble at her junior brother's place, she would help him deal with them. It carried a feeling of those who offend my junior brother shall be punished no matter how far they flee. Gu Junqing felt that this Wild Wolf Gang had offended his senior sister, so they deserved to be eliminated. Chen Lingyue also believed that since this Wild Wolf Gang dared to cause trouble at her junior brother's place, they should be wiped out. Perhaps all those taught by Jizuyu were protective of their own, with the exception of Su Chen. Chapter 113. At this very moment, within the territory of the Wild Wolf Gang, the leader of the Wild Wolf Gang watched as his gang's territory was surrounded by members of the underworld, feeling utterly desperate. He hurried out to inquire, approaching someone who was clearly in charge. "Brothers, our Wild Wolf Gang has not done anything wrong. Why are you besieging us? We have always paid our protection fees on time," the Wild Wolf Gang leader said, bowing and scraping, his fear palpable. The leader in charge lit a cigarette, not even bothering to glance at the Wild Wolf Gang leader. "Your underlings provoked someone higher up. You Wild Wolf Gang thought you could rely on us, and have been getting too arrogant lately. Besides, now is the time for the underground forces in Luoda to unite. Small gangs like yours should basically disappear." After saying this, he turned and signaled to his subordinates to move forward. "Remember, capture all members of the Wild Wolf Gang. Leader Li Xixue intends to hand them over to the higher UPS personally. If you encounter people from the West District, do not mind them. They share the same objective as us." Upon receiving their orders, the subordinates advanced and cleared out the Wild Wolf Gang's territory. The same instructions were given on the West District side. The Wild Wolf Gang's external businesses were seized one after another, and their members were captured one by one. Tonight was a sleepless night in Luodu. From then on, the Wild Wolf Gang vanished from Luoda's underground forces. The Wild Wolf Gang leader watched as the foundation he had painstakingly built was ruthlessly plundered by the crowd, and hatred surged within him. Finally, he made up his mind, walked to the phone, and dialed a number. "Hello, is this the Mercenary Center? I am looking for Lord Yufeng." "Hello, I am sorry, but Lord Yufeng is currently on a highly confidential mission, and cannot be reached at the moment." The female voice on the phone filled the Wild Wolf Gang leader with despair. "Then when Lord Yufeng returns, tell him to avenge his little wolf." "Received. I will inform Lord Yufeng. Please rest assured." After hanging up, the Wild Wolf Gang leader stepped out to face his demise. "I do not know who I offended, but if you want to destroy my Wild Wolf Gang, you will pay a price too." His gaze was fierce enough to devour someone. Yet, it was his own people's arrogance that had provoked others, making their destruction justified. Li Xixue truly lived up to being the formidable leader cultivated by Gu Junqing, who in the original story became Su Chen's most capable subordinate. Seizing this opportunity, Li Xixue not only eliminated the Wild Wolf Gang, but also took down many other large and small gangs in Luodu. The number of gangs in the entire city had become countable on one hand. Public security improved dramatically, and the underground forces were no longer as chaotic as before. Li Xixue took the chance to enact many regulations, greatly standardizing the methods and conduct of the underground forces, earning widespread support. It could be said that the unification of Luodu was not far off. Many forces in Luodu had already begun eyeing this lucrative prize, as the reshuffling phase was the easiest time to enter. Even external forces wanted to get a share of the pie. However, it was clear that almost all of Luodu's underground forces had already fallen into Gu Junqing's hands and were fully integrated. For others to try to snatch food from the tiger's mouth was nearly impossible. Of course, these were all matters for later. At this moment, Gu Junqing had already arrived at Su Chen's location. He had already ruined Su Chen's image in front of Chen Lingyue, but it was not enough. What Su Chen was currently doing was clearly insufficient grounds for expulsion from the sect in Ji Ziyu's eyes. He needed to continue gradually exposing Su Chen's true nature, making Ji Ziyu completely lose hope in him. At that point, Su Chen would likely be completely drained of value. Gu Junqing showed a contemplative expression. His current task was to reignite Su Chen's fighting spirit. The current Su Chen had completely fallen into despair, like worthless mud, utterly devoid of motivation. He lay on a stretcher, surrounded by Gu family doctors working to keep him alive. Gu Junqing waved his hand, signaling everyone to leave so he could have a proper talk with Su Chen and provoke him further. "Senior brother Su Chen, how are your injuries?" Gu Junqing entered the hospital room with a faint smile. Hearing Gu Junqing's voice, Su Chen's deathly pale expression briefly stirred with emotion before sinking back into stillness. "Gu Junqing, are you here to mock me?" Su Chen lay on the bed without any expression, radiating an aura of complete desolation. Gu Junqing paid no mind to his demeanor. He had come precisely to ignite Su Chen's fighting spirit. Otherwise, how could he continue to reap benefits? Moreover, Gu Junqing sensed that Su Chen had not completely given up yet. A protagonist would not be so easily broken. It was merely having his martial arts crippled and both arms severed. For a protagonist, as long as life remained, the struggle continued. Even if life were lost, there were always possibilities like resurrection, reincarnation, or rebirth. However, such extraordinary feats were beyond the capabilities of a mere divine doctor returns to the mountains type protagonist. His luck value could not even support a single resurrection. For Su Chen, death would mean permanent death. Because his luck had been almost completely drained by Gu Junqing, to the point where even his protagonist status was nearly stripped away. There would be no scenario where someone dancing in black stockings on his grave could make him burst forth from the earth. Though such situations could be easily prevented anyway, just building the tomb with concrete would suffice. Ordinary people would not have the strength to break through. Indeed, I just wanted to see how far the great divine Dr. Su, who once opposed me, has fallen. Gu Junqing spoke with clear sarcasm. He had gone through great pains to thoroughly drain this plump sheep called Su Chen. These words made Su Chen's face flush red. Despite his severe blood loss, blood actually rushed to his face, surprising even Gu Junqing. Protagonists truly possessed remarkable vitality, like cockroaches. The only sure solution was to crush them completely and burn the remains. Gu Junqing, I do not understand why you must oppose me like this. Su Chen endured the faint pain in his chest, staring at Gu Junqing with bloodshot eyes. His arms had completely lost sensation. He could not even push himself up to sit. Tisk tisk, senior brother Su Chen, you cannot even start up from your sickbed in surprise anymore, yet you still have the energy to ask me why. Su Chen closed his eyes, deciding it was better not to speak with Gu Junqing at all. He felt Gu Junqing had come specifically to infuriate him to death. Amusement sparkled in Gu Junqing's eyes. He had picked up some taunting techniques from Luo Ningyu, never expecting them to be so effective. Then again, this girl had once provoked both Lin Tian and Su Chen to the point they wanted to attack her. Her skill at sarcastic remarks was truly first class, delivered without a single vulgar word. She must have been quite the master of passive aggression in her previous life too. Senior brother Su Chen, was it not you who first provoked me when you arrived at the school? Now how can you say I am the one picking a fight with you? Gu Junqing responded to Su Chen with a hint of surprise on his face. Was that because you were getting handsy with my fiancée Li Xixue? Su Chen angrily denounced Gu Junqing's statement with an utterly shameless attitude. Is that so? Then I indeed acted this way toward you because of Li Xixue too. Seeing how much Su Chen cared about Li Xixue, Gu Junqing deliberately stated that he had acted because of her. Chapter 114. Gu Junqing's words had clearly angered Su Chen. He stared at Gu Junqing with great agitation, no longer looking like a dead man as he had moments before. Seeing Su Chen's agitated state, Gu Junqing felt a flicker of satisfaction. A Su Chen like this still had value to be squeezed dry. If he had truly given up completely, Gu Junqing would have considered sending him to the afterlife right then. A protagonist with no use left served no purpose in this world. Su Chen, your senior sister is now my senior sister, and she stands by my side. As for our master, Gu Junqing's tone shifted, carrying a hint of amusement. Su Chen, did you know? Our master is actually a woman. Su Chen froze, staring at Gu Junqing with disbelief. What did you say? Impossible. How could Master Zhu be a woman? Su Chen was struck by a tremendous mental shock. He could not believe that his master was actually female. After a moment, Su Chen finally reacted. He turned his head stiffly toward Gu Junqing. How do you know that? Master always wears a black mask and a black robe. How could you possibly know? Gu Junqing looked at Su Chen as if he were an idiot. Was this fool serious? Of course he had seen with his own eyes and confirmed it himself. After his brief outburst, Su Chen gradually calmed down. Does it matter whether Master Zhu is male or female? Besides, Master must be at least 40 by now, and probably not much to look at either. Otherwise, why would they always wear a mask? Su Chen relaxed, unsure why Gu Junqing was bringing this up. Tisk tisk, Su Chen, would you not know better than anyone whether our master is beautiful? You must have seen the portrait hanging in Master's room, right? Gu Junqing smiled faintly. You mean, the celestial beauty in the painting is Master? Su Chen was stunned. In his youth, he had once entered Ji Ziyu's room and caught a glimpse of a portrait there. Back then, young Su Chen had seen the woman in the painting, her skin like snow, her grace like an untouched maiden, no, like an immortal nourished by wind and dew. Standing on the mountainside, looking down upon the earth, her exquisitely beautiful profile seemed like a perfect ornament carved by the heavens. Those bright, crystalline eyes resembled flawless pearls. Even rendered only in paint, she appeared like an immortal, the moon's pure halo, snow piled on flowering trees. This was Ji Ziyu in her youth, captured by a disciple of her sect. When Ji Ziyu later left the sect, she took this painting with her. After secluding herself in Juner Mountain, she hung the portrait in the main hall of her residence. Of course, she told her disciples that she hung it there because she admired the woman in the painting. After learning all this, Gu Junqing found it privately amusing. He thought that although Master Ji Ziyu appeared aloof and elegant, she was actually quite narcissistic. Though it was an excuse, there was likely some truth to it. Clearly, Ji Ziyu was very satisfied with how she looked in that portrait, otherwise, she would not have brought it with her when fleeing her sect in haste. Once, while joking with Ji Ziyu, Gu Junqing unintentionally mentioned this, which angered her so much that she threatened to teach him a lesson. Of course, in the end, it was Ji Ziyu who received the lesson. Right beneath that very portrait, she was kissed until she was dizzy and disoriented. When Su Chen first saw that portrait, he was at that age when youthful passions first awaken. The moment he laid eyes on the celestial sister, he fell in love. But upon learning she was the one his master fancied, he secretly lamented the situation. Yet he did not give up, vowing in his heart that once he became powerful, he would marry the celestial sister before his master could. After all, in his eyes, his master was nothing but a hideous creature. Why else would he always cloak himself in a black robe and wear a mask, if not to hide his appearance from others? He believed his master was utterly unworthy of the celestial sister, only he himself deserved her. Really? Master is the celestial sister. Su Chen's face lit up with delight, as if he had found a new hope. The celestial sister is master. After learning this news, Su Chen kept murmuring to himself, his expression filled with joy. Seeing Su Chen like this, Gu Junqing understood Su Chen was not so different from him. Both were men who wished to deceive their master and defy their roots. The only difference was that Su Chen had never even seen Ji Ziyu's face, while Gu Junqing had already drawn close to Ji Ziyu and felt the delicate softness of her skin. When it came to overstepping boundaries with their master, Gu Junqing was the expert. In the distance, Yu Miajin and Ji Ziyu both yawned at the same time, leaving them slightly puzzled. Yu Miajin had just finished grading her students' papers, and had not yet settled down to sleep. Her mind was filled entirely with thoughts of Gu Junqing, his seemingly slender, but actually robust, and perfectly sculpted body. She also recalled the many blush-inducing things they had done together in the office. With a shy, soft snort, she resolved that next time, she would make Gu Junqing surrender. As for Jizhuyu, she was in the midst of recovering from her injuries. She had already decided to descend the mountain and meet her ungrateful disciple who dared challenge his master. That rebellious disciple Junqing, I believe he is at Tianlin High School. I will go see him in a couple of days. Jizhuyu pondered quietly to herself. She felt somewhat conflicted, unsure whether she should rely further on Gu Junqing's assistance. After all, a small part of her injury had not fully healed, and she needed his help. Never mind, I will see how he behaves. A faint blush spread across Jizuyu's snow-white skin as she closed her eyes again to focus on healing. Little did Gu Junqing know that the two teachers he had betrayed and defied might soon meet. Watching Su Chen's exhilarated expression, clearly lost in his own fantasies, Gu Junqing raised an eyebrow. Senior brother Su Chen, are you happy that master is the celestial sister? Gu Junqing clearly did not understand what Su Chen was so thrilled about. Was it because he had found the celestial sister he adored in his youth, or because the woman of his fantasies turned out to be his own master? Clearly, Su Chen still had not grasped the reality of the situation. Gu Junqing massaged his forehead in disbelief. Of course I am happy, Su Chen answered instinctively, still dazed by the overwhelming surprise. He did not even react to the presence of his greatest rival, Gu Junqing. What, are you not even curious about how I knew master is the celestial sister? Gu Junqing deliberately adopted a mysterious tone, slowly luring Su Chen in. Only then did Su Chen snap out of it. Gu Junqing, what exactly are you trying to say? Gu Junqing looked at Su Chen with pity in his eyes. Senior brother Su Chen, what if I told you that I have already been intimate with our master? Those demonic words nearly shattered Su Chen's entire world. The impact of these words on him was equivalent to Du Enyu learning that Wang Yuyan had been taken by Murong Fu, or Yang Guo discovering that Dragon Girl had been violated by Yin Saiping. It cannot be, Gu Junqing, you are lying to me, are you not? Are you not? She is your master. How could you be with her? How could you? Su Chen broke down into heart-wrenching sobs. Chapter 115. Gu Junqing had actually deceived Su Chen slightly. Although he had indeed crossed certain boundaries with Jizhuyu, it was not completely as he had described. Moreover, his current relationship with Jizhuyu had not fully reached that stage yet. Simply put, it still needed a trigger, and this trigger was tied to Su Chen. Gu Junqing looked at Su Chen with hidden meaning in his eyes. Ding, you have destroyed Su Chen's beliefs, causing him to be on the verge of collapse and turning dark. Reward, 5,000 villain points. Seeing the system's notification of gains, Gu Junqing understood. His harvest for tonight should be about this much. If he provoked further, Gu Junqing estimated that Su Chen would truly collapse. Senior brother Su Chen, your master is mine. Your senior sister is also mine. What else do you have left? Gu Junqing smiled. After speaking, he turned and left. Upon reaching outside the door, he heard Su Chen's desperate roar from inside. Gu Junqing, you deserve to die a terrible death. I will definitely kill you, definitely. The corner of Gu Junqing's mouth lifted slightly. What he wanted was precisely this fighting spirit from Su Chen, so that he could rally his energy and contribute his final burst of strength for Gu Junqing to obtain Jizhuyu. After all, Jizhuyu was truly irresistible. Whether it was her snow-white skin, the faint fragrance she emitted, or her mature aura, all of this made Gu Junqing somewhat unable to help but admit that he was indeed a bit of a scoundrel. Craving her, just keep him alive. I still need him to work for me. Gu Junqing instructed the doctor treating Su Chen. These doctors were all trained by the Gu family's own people. He was afraid that if they heard Su Chen's words about wanting him dead, they might directly finish Su Chen off. Yes, young master. A young, refined doctor wearing rimless glasses responded, his gaze toward Gu Junqing filled with reverence, as if toward a deity. The current Gu family was truly different from before. Although the previous Gu family was equally powerful, it had gradually become decayed. Both its personnel and systems could no longer keep up with the Gu family's development. It could only rely on its past prestige to intimidate the various forces in Luodu. But since this young master took charge, he had been swift and decisive, with actions that were hard to predict. Especially those eyes that seemed capable of seeing through people's hearts, which made many feel timid. It was precisely because of the young master that their younger generation in the Gu family could once again shout the slogan, "Make the Gu family great again." Of course, when Gu Junqing found out that the younger generation actually had such a slogan, he held an emergency meeting overnight to change it. As for their group, who had been promoted by the young master, their admiration for him was truly like worshipping a deity. Gu Junqing raised an eyebrow. Do you also want to make a pact with the deity? The young doctor was momentarily stunned, not understanding what the young master meant. Ahem, never mind. Go about your duties. Gu Junqing coughed awkwardly, gave his instructions, and left. The young doctor bowed respectfully in the direction Gu Junqing had left, then turned around, his eyes sharp and cold. How dare he wish death upon their Gu family's deity? He would make Su Chen taste the consequences thoroughly. I make a pact with the deity, betting you'll surely become a eunuch. The young doctor murmured in his heart. Walking on the road, Gu Junqing felt unusually relaxed. The matter with Su Chen was nearly concluded. As for Zhang Feiyo, that protagonist with the show-off system, he would also face danger due to a conjecture that had been lingering in Gu Junqing's mind. He was pondering whether the protagonists were truly cooperating or merely cultivating each other like insects in a jar, and he needed to test this thoroughly. Gu Junqing contemplated various methods to deal with Zhang Feiyu, and before he knew it, he had returned to the hotel. Young master, the Wild Wolf gang members have all been cleared out. A man in black came out to report to Gu Junqing. All right, understood. Gu Junqing waved his hand, and was about to return to the hotel to have a heartfelt conversation with his senior sister. However, while capturing their leader, our people discovered that he made a call abroad. And it seems it was to the internationally notorious Wolf Fang mercenary group. The man in black spoke expressionlessly. He was not worried about this so-called Wolf Fang mercenary group. As long as the person before him existed, the Gu family would remain invincible. Gu Junqing's influence in the Gu family was indeed unparalleled. The Gu family members believed he was a deity who could do no wrong. Wild Wolf Gang, Wolf Fang mercenary group. This feels so similar to the typical plot of an elite soldier returning to his homeland. Coming back for revenge? Gu Junqing calculated in his heart. Alright, that's all for now. You may leave. An elite soldier protagonist, ha. Perhaps I should send someone to gather information first. Dealing with an elite soldier protagonist was not particularly difficult for Gu Junqing. The key was to identify who was supporting him behind the scenes. Currently, Gu Junqing had no reason to fear in this regard. After all, Ji Zuyu was standing firmly behind him now. Ji Zuyu's influence was no less than that of an elite soldier protagonist, it might even surpass it. Moreover, this elite soldier protagonist seemed to have spent years carrying out missions abroad, so his domestic connections were likely limited. In terms of strength, Gu Junqing had already reached the level of a grandmaster, equivalent to the 6th rank. Meanwhile, Ji Zuyu's peak strength was at the 7th rank, the transcendent realm. He simply could not believe that this elite soldier protagonist could reach the transcendent realm of ancient martial arts. Lost in thought, Gu Junqing arrived at Chen Lingyue's door. Their rooms were located in the luxury suites on the top floor, a level inaccessible to others. Only Gu Junqing and Chen Lingyue resided on the top floor. Gu Junqing pondered how he should handle this world. To be honest, he also coveted this golden-haired senior sister, Chen Lingyue. When would the time come for both his master and senior sister to impart their teachings? Wouldn't that be a unique bond? Gu Junqing weighed the idea in his mind. On one hand, it seemed plausible, though Chen Lingyue and Ji Zuyu were not blood-related. On the other hand, the saying, "A teacher for a day is a mother for life," clearly applied to their relationship. The more he thought about it, the more his desire grew. Senior sister, are you asleep? Gu Junqing knocked on the door. What is it, junior brother? Chen Lingyue's voice was intermittent, as if she was restraining something, and it sounded somewhat pained. Hearing the commotion inside, Gu Junqing's expression changed, and he knocked urgently. Senior sister, what's wrong? Receiving no clear response, only Chen Lingyue's slightly pained sounds, Gu Junqing could not hold back any longer. With a palm strike infused with a trace of internal energy, he shattered the door lock, a trivial feat given his strength. Senior sister, what's wrong? Chapter 116. Gu Junqing rushed into the room and found Chen Lingyue meditating on the bed. Her expression was pained, with sweat beading on her forehead, and her face occasionally contorted in struggle. Senior sister, what happened? Junior brother, I am not sure either. I was trying to expel the drug Su Chen gave me today, but I discovered the drug's potency had merged with the internal energy within my body. For some reason, my body began undergoing abnormal changes, and my internal energy started slipping out of my control. Hearing this, Gu Junqing hurried forward to examine Chen Lingyue's condition. His medical skills even surpassed those of Ji Zuyu. Gu Junqing grasped Chen Lingyue's wrist, channeling a trace of internal energy through his pulse-taking fingers to probe her body. He quickly identified the problem. Chen Lingyue's pulse was chaotic and disordered, and her internal energy had begun to run wild. Meanwhile, her physique was gradually being activated under these circumstances. This resulted in the current turmoil within Chen Lingyue's body. Gu Junqing utilized the internal energy cultivated through his Yellow Emperor's inner cannon to clear the disordered meridians in Chen Lingyue's body, controlling the internal energy rampaging through her channels. With his strength at the 6th rank Grandmaster level, he easily suppressed Chen Lingyue's internal energy. This shocked Chen Lingyue, as she never realized her junior brother possessed such formidable power. She had always assumed Gu Junqing was weak. Little did she know he was actually a powerful tiger. Even their master probably did not know how terrifying junior brother Junqing's strength was. Chen Lingyue speculated. During their phone call, Ji Zuyu had not mentioned anything about Gu Junqing's capabilities. After a while, Gu Junqing opened his eyes. He looked at Chen Lingyue with a grave expression. Senior sister, did you know your physique is called the sitting and forgetting physique? Chen Lingyue was stunned, for she had no idea she possessed such a physique. Gu Junqing then explained both the advantages and disadvantages of this physique to her. This left Chen Lingyue somewhat astonished. Are you saying my face blindness is because of this physique? But after this physique is activated, can it really enhance my strength? Chen Lingyue felt a yearning for power, as it would allow her to help their master seek revenge. Gu Junqing sighed helplessly. Senior sister, after this physique is activated, you will essentially become a different person. How could you possibly remember this hatred when even your feelings for our master would vanish? Chen Lingyue fell silent, unsure what to do. Senior sister, that drug from Su Chen is unusual. It happens to conflict with your physique. Since you kept it in your body for too long, Even wrapped in internal energy, it gradually assimilated with the drug's potency. Your sitting and forgetting physique has already begun to activate. Even if I use internal energy to expel the substance from your body, your physique has already been activated, so it will not make much difference. At this point, for some reason, Gu Junqing's mind suddenly wandered, inexplicably recalling a classic line from his past life. He thought of the phrase, "I will use internal energy to force out what you left inside me." Unlike Li Xixue and Chen Lingyue, who possessed genuine Sunman internal energy cultivation techniques, and could develop internal energy, even someone like Yu Miajin, whose body had been enhanced through dual cultivation, with Gu Junqing using the Yellow Emperor's inner canon lacked internal energy. Thus, Gu Junqing could not imagine it. But perhaps in the future, Li Xixue or Chen Lingyue might actually say those words to him. Gu Junqing imagined that after comforting Li Xixue's body, which had been lonely for so long, she would say to him, "I will use my inner energy to force out what you left inside me." Just thinking about this made Gu Junqing slightly excited. He felt something stir. Of course, it was not the cabinet moving. "What are you thinking about?" Chen Lingyue looked at Gu Junqing's distracted expression and asked with some confusion. "It is nothing, senior sister." Gu Junqing quickly composed himself. "Senior sister, what do you plan to do? Activate your physique or give up?" Gu Junqing intended to leave this choice to Chen Lingyue. "What effects would I experience if I choose to activate it or give up?" Gu Junqing had only given a brief explanation earlier. If you activate the sitting and forgetting physique, it will make you more suitable for cultivating martial arts, allowing you to fully devote yourself to it. However, you will lose yourself, as your emotions will gradually fade, and you will forget everyone. If you follow my method, not only will you gain the cultivation speed of the physique, but you will also be completely unaffected by its drawbacks. Your face blindness can even be cured. Gu Junqing spoke with a hint of temptation, already planning in his mind what positions to use later. He felt himself indulging in feminine charms, unable to extricate himself. These words made Chen Lingyue's eyes light up, and she eagerly asked, "What method?" Given Gu Junqing's earlier ability to suppress her inner energy, she estimated she was no match for him now. No wonder their master said junior brother Junqing was a once-in-a-century martial arts prodigy. She did not want to be left so far behind by junior brother Junqing. She wanted to activate her physique to enhance her strength, but she did not want to forget junior brother Junqing and their master. "Ahem, senior sister. I have a unique technique that allows both parties to communicate through yin and yang exchange. When the needle enters the meridian, the pathogenic energy is expelled, taken from above. When the needle reaches the middle meridian, the turbid energy is expelled, taken from the yang-ming convergence. If the needle is too deep, the pathogenic energy sinks back. This refers to superficial floating ailments that should not be deeply needled. Deep needling causes the pathogenic energy to follow inward, hence it is said to sink back." Gu Junqing quoted some content from the inner canon in an extremely obscure and difficult to understand manner. He knew that, given Chen Lingyue's unscholarly nature, she would definitely not comprehend it. Based on his understanding of Chen Lingyue, if her cultural level were ranked from the bottom, she would only be slightly better than Li Xixue, who did not even know whether a pound of iron or a pound of cotton was heavier. Their cultural level probably only extended to calculations within 10 for addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. "What are you talking about?" Chen Lingyue felt a headache coming on, her face full of question marks. She recognized every word Gu Junqing said, but when strung together, she could not understand a single sentence. "It means I need to perform acupuncture on you, senior sister. As long as my needles are not inserted too deeply, it will be enough to cure the drawbacks brought by your physique." Gu Junqing answered with a straight face. This sentence was concise and to the point, causing a cold smile to appear on Chen Lingyue's face. "Junior brother, I thought yesterday that my junior brother was so pure. Little did I know, today you have given me a good lesson. We have not even known each other for long, and you are already trying to lure your senior sister into bed, are you not?" After saying this, Chen Lingyue slapped Gu Junqing's arm. She knew Gu Junqing's strength far surpassed hers, so she did not hold back much force. "Senior sister, how can you think that way? Your junior brother is only doing this for your own good. And besides, I was just giving you acupuncture, senior sister. What were you thinking?" Gu Junqing replied with an innocent expression. "Senior sister, what exactly were you thinking?" Chen Lingyue's expression froze as she looked at Gu Junqing with suspicion. Could it be that she had really misunderstood him? Chapter 117. Ahem, actually, performing acupuncture on you, senior sister, can only alleviate the effects brought by your physique. If a complete cure is needed, it truly requires treating it at the root." Gu Junqing sat upright and answered with a serious expression. He successfully made Chen Lingyue, who had thought she misunderstood him, blush crimson with embarrassment. "Junior brother, has anyone ever told you that you lack martial morality? Deceiving and ambushing all day long." Chen Lingyue wore a half-smile, confirming that she had not wronged Gu Junqing. He was indeed a seasoned driver, always trying to lead her astray. "However, you can start by performing acupuncture on me, your senior sister, to see the effects. Then I will consider whether to let a scoundrel like you take advantage." After some thought, Chen Lingyue decided to proceed. Her impression of Gu Junqing was extremely favorable. To her, only Gu Junqing and their master, Li Xixue, mattered the most. She did not want to forget them. Moreover, she genuinely liked this junior brother. The saying "handsome is as handsome" does truly held weight. When someone unattractive says such things, it is harassment. When someone handsome says them, it is flirting. In life, 30% depends on effort, 70% on luck, and the remaining 90% on looks. The ancients certainly knew what they were talking about. Just like a certain someone who claimed not to know his wife was beautiful, only needing to know she was capable. As for whether Gu Junqing was capable, was there any need for further elaboration? All right, senior sister, but let us go to my room. The door lock is broken, and it would not be good if someone walked in, Gu Junqing suggested with a mischievous grin. Chen Lingyue glanced at the precarious door and nodded in agreement. With Gu Junqing's support, she stood up. Her body had not fully recovered, and she could not muster any internal energy at all. Gu Junqing noticed that not only was her walk unsteady, but her jade peaks trembled with each step as well. Senior sister was truly fascinating. She really lived up to being a spicy beauty. Gu Junqing's heart fluttered in sync with the rhythm of her jade peaks. He thought she was the type of woman who could not see her own toes when looking down. Clearly, Chen Lingyue was already struggling to control her movements, her steps faltering and unsteady. So, Gu Junqing turned around and crouched in front of her. Senior sister, climb on. I will carry you. Chen Lingyue hesitated for a moment, then, acknowledging her weakness, leaned forward and mounted Gu Junqing's back. Gu Junqing felt the warmth and softness of her against him, a faint fragrance lingering at the tip of his nose, making him involuntarily take a deep breath. He savored the exquisite curves of Chen Lingyue's body. That deep breath caused Chen Lingyue's face to flush with a mix of shyness and anger, and she lightly smacked Gu Junqing's head. Hurry up and watch where you are going. Gu Junqing gauged the force of her hit and realized it felt more like a caress than a strike. It seemed she could not bring herself to hit him hard. He chuckled inwardly. Still teasing her, he said, Senior sister, this time you are riding me, but next time, I will definitely ride you back. This time, Chen Lingyue had no desire to respond to this lecherous junior brother. He was just too wicked. Does our master no longer consider character when accepting disciples? Chen Lingyue wondered to herself. But she did not know that even Ji Ziyue was no longer safe from Gu Junqing's clutches. Entering Gu Junqing's private room, she took in the decor. Chen Lingyue looked at Gu Junqing with a half-smile. You called me to your room. It could not possibly be because of this bed, could it? She pointed at the large water bed in Gu Junqing's room. Senior sister, if I told you this is my first time here too, would you believe me? Gu Junqing sounded somewhat helpless. It was indeed his first time staying here, and he had only just discovered that his room contained not only a regular bed, but also a large water bed. There were even many special items, conveniently arranged to cater to Gu Junqing's various needs. After tonight, I am giving everyone a raise. Gu Junqing thought to himself that his employees were far too considerate. Not giving them a raise would feel unreasonable. Who would believe you? Humph. Chen Lingyue snorted coldly. In her opinion, this junior brother of hers was excellent in every way except for his lack of moral integrity. Not only did he want to involve his senior sister in improper activities, but he also pretended to be a gentleman while clearly harboring ill intentions. Gu Junqing placed Chen Lingyue on the massage bed beside the water bed. After all, they still needed to perform acupuncture. The shaking motion of the water bed would make it difficult to control the pressure and apply the needles properly. Of course, Gu Junqing's medical skills were advanced enough to attempt it, but clearly, Chen Lingyue would never agree. Guess I will have to try it in the latter half of the night. Gu Junqing thought with a hint of regret. Gu Junqing now wanted to emulate some of the protagonist's behaviors, such as claiming that he could not locate the acupoints without removing clothing during acupuncture. Senior sister, please remove your clothes. My medical skills are still quite rudimentary. I only studied with our master for about 10 days. I am worried I might not accurately find the acupoints. Gu Junqing wore a serious expression, feigning concern about his ability to perform well. Truly, a seasoned actor. Chen Lingyue hesitated for a moment. She knew Gu Junqing had not studied medicine for long, so she somewhat believed his explanation. What she did not know was that even before coming up the mountain, Gu Junqing's medical skills had already been elevated to a divine medical skill through the system's lottery. In fact, his skills were even superior to Ji Ziyue's. Tisk. A man's words are the devil's lies. Fine. Turn around. No peeking. Of course not. Gu Junqing smiled. He did not know why, but he felt as though he were coaxing a young girl. Even though his senior sister was a leader in the underworld, she trusted his words so readily. Perhaps it was because Gu Junqing was genuinely different to her. Although her favorability toward him was only at 40, it was still higher than what she felt for anyone else. Due to the influence of her physique, even Ji Ziyue held a position in her heart similar to Gu Junqing's, if not slightly lower. Thinking about it this way, Gu Junqing could be considered the person she most wanted to be close to. Naturally, she was willing to trust him. After a while, Gu Junqing heard the rustling of clothes. All right, you can turn around now. Gu Junqing turned at the sound and saw Chen Lingyue lying face down on the massage bed, her bare back as smooth and flawless as jade. Observing from her feet upward, he first noticed a pair of small, fair, and rosy feet. Their shape was elegant and rounded, with slender, delicate toes, exquisite and refined, like the purest white jade in the world, utterly flawless. Gu Junqing could not help but feel the urge to hold them in his hands and admire them. Then came the curve of her legs, which took a breathtaking arc at the peak of her hips, then tightened dramatically downward at her slender waist, creating an exquisite silhouette. Finally, there was the jade-like curve of her back, utterly flawless, and without a trace of excess flesh. Her back resembled a lotus flower, enchanting, and radiantly beautiful. Gu Junqing's unyielding tears of blood fell helplessly from his nose. Chapter 118. Senior sister, you really are a little waist enchantress. Gu Junqing sighed, as this slender waist and beautiful back made even the well-traveled Gu Junqing exclaim that he could not resist. Enough with the nonsense, let's begin quickly. Chen Lingyue's voice came through, even as the leader of Luodu's West District, bearing her shoulders and jade-like back before her junior brother still made her somewhat embarrassed. She had been quite conflicted about whether to bare her entire upper body, but she worried about Gu Junqing's acupuncture skills, so it ended up like this. Yet Gu Junqing still did not want to let Chen Lingyue off, his eyes glancing at a certain part of her. Senior sister, I'm quite an experienced stock market player myself. When will you let me invest in some shares? Chen Lingyue again could not quite keep up with Gu Junqing's rhythm. Alright, stop talking nonsense. As a scion of the Gu family, why would you need to invest in your senior sister's shares? Chen Lingyue was so flustered that she almost got up to hit Gu Junqing. If not for her upper body being uncovered, she would have really taught him a lesson this time. After speaking, Gu Junqing stopped teasing Chen Lingyue, though he wanted to signal by striking shares and ride the trend together with Chen Lingyue. For now he needed to focus on restoring her health first. Gu Junqing took out the silver needles he had prepared. He began applying acupuncture to Chen Lingyue's smooth, flawless back. Chen Lingyue only felt various sensations at the acupuncture points on her back: soreness, numbness, itchiness, swelling, burning heat, and a crawling ant-like feeling, making her gasp in surprise. Junior brother, your acupuncture is quite comfortable. Gu Junqing smiled. This was the divine medical skill, a technique that could transform decay into a miracle. If even acupuncture did not work, he might as well delete the system. Every needle Gu Junqing applied made Chen Lingyue tremble slightly, her breathing growing uneven. Watching this kept Gu Junqing's nose feeling warm throughout. After a while, Gu Junqing finally finished applying the needles for Chen Lingyue. Since each needle required him to use some internal energy, he also needed to meditate and regulate his breathing for a moment. Gu Junqing opened his eyes, having completed his breathing regulation, but he discovered that Chen Lingyue had actually fallen asleep, leaving Gu Junqing helpless. It seems you won't have much fortune tonight. Gu Junqing sighed somewhat regretfully, while speaking to himself. He approached to remove all the needles from Chen Lingyue's back and draped clothing over her. After his treatment, Chen Lingyue's body was gradually improving. He had temporarily suppressed the awakening of Chen Lingyue's physique and the expulsion of the drug Su Chen had administered. Gu Junqing rubbed his chin, thinking that Su Chen's drug was indeed unusual. No wonder he was so confident. Even after seeing Chen Lingyue's impressive skills, he still believed it would affect her. Even if Chen Lingyue immediately enveloped it with true qi, it could still merge with the true qi and affect her body. This also explained why, in the original work, Su Chen could immediately have intimate encounters whenever he went to nightclubs. With such a treasure, plus his protagonist's luck, what was not possible? Gu Junqing carried Chen Lingyue onto the water bed. It should be known that water beds completely conform to the human body's physiological curves. No matter how one changes sleeping positions, they truly achieve close contact between the mattress and the human body. Combined with holding Chen Lingyue's warm, fragrant jade-like body in his arms, Gu Junqing slept very soundly tonight. Meanwhile, Su Chen on the other side was not thinking along the same lines. Quack doctor, what have you done to me? Su Chen roared angrily. He actually could not feel his lower body now. The story traced back to after Gu Junqing left, when the young doctor heard Su Chen's curses and grew extremely angry. Upon hearing Su Chen vow to make Gu Junqing sunless and airless, a clever idea struck him. He decided to make this Su Chen the one who ended up sunless instead. Thus, after administering anesthesia to Su Chen, the young doctor performed a sterilization procedure on him. Nothing much, just thought this would be more effective for your condition, the doctor said, a sharp glint flashing behind his rimless glasses. If not for Gu Junqing's order to keep this Su Chen alive with medicine, he would have wanted to kill him outright for those curses. I'm a divine doctor, do you think I don't know? You did this on purpose, you bastard. Gu Junqing, show yourself. Was it you? Was it you? Su Chen roared, tears streaming from the corners of his eyes. Though he was a divine doctor, he could not perform miracles like reviving the dead or regrowing flesh and bone, let alone restore what he had lost. Oh well then, it's fine. After all, I'm just a quack. I wouldn't know. The young doctor shrugged, feigning helplessness as he walked away. He had gotten his revenge now. How dare this man curse the leader of his Gu family? It was mercy enough that he had not killed him outright. Su Chen, who had always been eager to use his acupuncture needles on others, had now bid a permanent farewell to his little brother. After his furious outburst, Su Chen lay there listlessly, staring at the ceiling. He was filled with intense regret. If given another chance, he would never oppose Gu Junqing again. He would not have followed Gu Junqing today either. It all became clear to him now. Everything he overheard from Gu Junqing's subordinates yesterday was precisely what Gu Junqing wanted him to hear. It was all part of Gu Junqing's scheme. This man was terrifying. If only he had not chosen to oppose him from the start. Tears fell as Su Chen wallowed in remorse. But what was done was done. There was no going back. He could only swallow the bitter fruit born of his momentary jealousy. Ding. Host's subordinate caused protagonist Su Chen to lose his manhood. Reward: 200 points of luck. Ding. Host altered the plot. Reward: 5,000 villain points. Gu Junqing was currently lying on a waterbed, holding Chen Lingyue as she slept, when the system's sudden notifications surprised him. So, while he was administering acupuncture to Chen Lingyue, Su Chen was undergoing sterilization surgery. How wonderful, truly wonderful. Gu Junqing pondered the idea. In both instances where the protagonists were sterilized, he had not done it himself. The first time, with Zhang Feiyu, it was that minor villain Zhang Cheng who acted. This time, it was a subordinate from his Gu family. He thought that next time, it would be more satisfying to do it himself. A smile touched Gu Junqing's lips as he pulled Chen Lingyue closer into his embrace and drifted off to sleep. Unnoticed by him, Chen Lingyue's lips curved slightly when he drew her near. It was not that she did not want to wake, she simply did not know how to face Gu Junqing. Having given herself to him, it was clear their relationship had not reached that level yet, so she could only delay. Still, feeling Gu Junqing pull her into his arms and his gentlemanly gestures, like dressing her, brought a touch of sweetness to her heart. She felt that her junior brother Gu Junqing's kindness toward her was not simply lust. Moreover, the effects of the acupuncture treatment Gu Junqing had used to heal her were just as he had promised. She could now perfectly etch Gu Junqing's appearance into her heart. She would no longer be like before, seeing Gu Junqing's face, but unable to remember what he looked like. Gu Junqing had not lied to her. Lost in thought, she too drifted off to sleep. But being the senior sister, she adjusted their sleeping positions slightly. She swapped their positions, so now it was Gu Junqing's turn to bury his face in her embrace. After all, she was the senior sister, the leader of the West District. How could she nestle in a man's arms? If anyone was to nestle, it should be the man nestling in hers. Chapter 119. Gu Junqing woke up feeling suffocated, opening his eyes to complete darkness. After blinking a few times, he realized Chen Lingyue had buried him against her chest. The world only returned to brightness when Gu Junqing turned over. Gu Junqing silently marveled. His senior sister's proportions were indeed substantial. No wonder she bounced with every step when walking. Though the waterbed was truly comfortable, what mattered more was how delicate and tender his senior sister's body felt. Even years of martial arts training hadn't damaged her snow-white, smooth skin. Seeing Chen Lingyue still asleep, Gu Junqing contemplated for a moment. Then he lay back down. What did it matter if he was buried in his senior sister's embrace? What harm was there in doing it again? Chen Lingyue was startled awake by Gu Junqing's movements. Running her fingers through her sleep-mussed hair, she discovered Gu Junqing still nestled against her chest. Rolling her eyes, she pushed Gu Junqing's face away from her jade peaks, mere centimeters away. Gu Junqing, are you still a child? Senior sister, haven't you heard don't refuse because the eel is small? Besides, whether this junior brother is long or short still needs senior sister to measure for herself, doesn't it? Gu Junqing raised an eyebrow as he retorted. Chen Lingyue didn't want to deal with Gu Junqing's innuendo so early in the morning. After speaking, she got out of bed to wash up. After a night's recovery, her body had completely healed. However, her physique remained a major issue, so she decided to spend a few more days with Gu Junqing. Gu Junqing smiled as he rose in the milk-scented environment, thoroughly enjoying himself. Junior brother, I need to return to the gang to handle some matters. I'll visit you another day. Chen Lingyue wore a helpless expression. As the leader of Luodu's last major gang, while Li Xixue was aggressively absorbing and eliminating the city's small and medium forces, she had told her subordinates she was unavailable. Only after her underlings tactfully reminded her that they might as well surrender if she didn't return soon did Chen Lingyue reluctantly prepare to leave Gu Junqing. Senior sister, you know my identity now. Don't worry, I'll handle everything. Gu Junqing wore a doting smile as he tucked a stray golden lock behind Chen Lingyue's ear, but she slapped his hand away with displeasure. Junior brother, I'm still your senior sister, not your woman. Gu Junqing raised an eyebrow and leaned close to whisper in her ear, isn't that just a matter of time? After speaking, his hands gently caressed Chen Lingyue's cheeks before lightly pecking her cherry lips as punishment. This made it difficult for Chen Lingyue to maintain her authority as both senior sister and gang leader. Blushing, her eyes slightly dazed, she rose on her toes and let Gu Junqing kiss her repeatedly. Only after what felt like an eternity did Gu Junqing release her, allowing her to flee in flustered embarrassment. That wretched junior brother, always using that same move. Chen Lingyue left with reddened cheeks, feeling her lips slightly numb, while mentally complaining about Gu Junqing. How was she supposed to face her subordinates like this? When Chen Lingyue reached her territory, she found her underlings gathered outside her villa waiting for her. Boss, if you hadn't come soon, our forces in the West District would have been completely swallowed by Li Xixue. Yeah, boss, where have you been? Why are your lips swollen? By the way, boss, yesterday you told us to deal with that wild wolf gang, but we found Li Xixue's people there too. Did the wild wolf gang manage to offend both of you? The underlings looked at their boss's stunning face, completely free of makeup, with admiration. Even after seeing it many times, it still left them in awe. Chen Lingyue's face was clearly one of the reasons they followed her. After all, who wouldn't want to see a great beauty every day? But they didn't dare to look too closely, as many of their brothers had been punished for doing so. Anyone caught staring would inevitably get a thorough beating from Chen Lingyue. The noisy chatter of her subordinates irritated Chen Lingyue immensely. Enough, I just went to observe the enemy's situation from the rear. By the way, in a couple of days, I'll introduce you to our strategist. From now on, he'll be fully responsible for all matters in the West District. Annoyed by their comments, Chen Lingyue inexplicably thought of Gu Junqing, who had just left, and casually gave them a few instructions. She felt uneasy inside. Having been apart for only a short while, she already missed her dear junior brother. Chen Lingyue, who had never experienced such feelings before, found herself somewhat captivated by this sense of anticipation. However, she didn't expect her words to cause an uproar among her subordinates. A strategist? Is he here to share power? This is bad. Could it be some pretty-faced male fox spirit who's caught our boss's eye? These were the thoughts of some subordinates worried about the gang's future development. Meanwhile, those with ulterior motives felt secretly jealous. Seeing the longing expression on Chen Lingyue's face, they knew boss Chen must have fallen in love. That kind of look and expression couldn't be hidden. Why should someone else steal her heart after I've worked so hard for years just to get her to glance my way? Feelings of resentment and concern for the gang's future spread among Chen Lingyue's subordinates. But Chen Lingyue paid no mind to their thoughts. Moreover, having the young master of the Gu family serve as her strategist was an understatement. It was an overwhelming honor. Just thinking about how Gu Junqing had offered to be her strategist before leaving warmed her heart. The burden of considering the gang's future had always weighed heavily on her. Now, after hearing Gu Junqing's promise, she felt relieved. Fighting was her forte, but she absolutely despised dealing with covert schemes and social niceties. Of course, she didn't know that her greatest enemy, Li Xixue, had actually been cultivated by Gu Junqing from the start. She was still unaware of some of Gu Junqing's plans. The reason Gu Junqing hadn't yet unified Luo City's underground forces was naturally due to his own schemes. A tall tree catches the wind, standing out in the forest invites destruction. If they grew too powerful too quickly, it could even trigger intervention from the state. These things had to be taken slowly. After all, Luo City's underground forces were already largely under Gu Junqing's control. Chen Lingyue continued discussing future matters with her subordinates. Meanwhile, Gu Junqing was at Yang Xixing's headquarters. Leader Yang, I never ordered you to unify all the forces completely. Sitting in the main seat sipping tea, Gu Junqing looked at Yang Xixing with a faint, ambiguous smile. These words made Yang Xixing tremble with fear. Young Master Gu, I just thought this was a heaven-sent opportunity. With the West District joining us in besieging the Wild Wolf Gang, many small and medium-sized forces thought we had formed an alliance. Many either relocated out of Luo City or sought our protection. If we don't act now, we'll miss many opportunities. For some reason, Yang Xixing felt a sense of dread as he met Gu Junqing's gaze. Chief Yang, I'm not blaming you. In fact, I should commend your decisiveness. Hearing Yang Xixing's explanation, Gu Junqing's tone softened slightly. Without looking at him, he continued brewing his tea. Seeing that Gu Junqing had accepted his explanation, Yang Xixing's panicked heart settled down again. No one would have imagined that the young Gu Junqing could make Yang Xixing, who had weathered decades of bloodshed in the underworld, tremble with fear just from a single glance. Chapter 120. All right, I didn't mean anything else by it. There's no need to be like this. Please sit. Gu Junqing's expression shifted, becoming slightly more amiable. Yang Xixing could only sit upright with rigid formality. Recently, the unification process of Luo City's underground forces has slowed down a bit. We can start by unifying the small and medium-sized forces first. Gu Junqing instructed. This statement made Yang Xixing pause for a moment. Young Master Gu, has something happened? It's nothing. Due to some reasons, some of our recent plans are beginning to change. Gu Junqing shook his head. The elite soldier protagonist was about to return. How could he maneuver effectively if the underground forces were already orderly and unified? Oh, that's right. Any news about the men and women I asked you to look for? Gu Junqing narrowed his eyes, suddenly remembering something. No, it seems there haven't been any suddenly rising individuals, as young Master Gu described recently. As for exceptionally beautiful women, there are quite a few. Yang Xixing shook his head slightly. However, at Muye High School, there is someone named Ming Ren whose academic ranking shot up like a rocket to become #1 at Muye. I'm not sure if he's the person young Master Gu is looking for. And he's surrounded by quite a few women. Yang Xixing reported earnestly to Gu Junqing. When Gu Junqing began the process of unifying Luo City's underground forces, he had instructed Yang Xixing to pay special attention to whether there were such types of people. Gu Junqing narrowed his eyes. He had already had the Gu family investigate this information thoroughly. The probability that this Ming Ren wasn't the protagonist was very small. But recently, due to these matters, he hadn't had the time to deal with him. However, when the time came for the Huaqing University recommendation competition, he could meet this protagonist and see if he truly fit the template of an academic genius among protagonists. If he was that type of protagonist template, then he posed no threat to Gu Junqing. He could freely start shearing the wool. But this Yang Xixing was too slow in obtaining information. He could only have him continue searching slowly. Perhaps you could have some of your subordinates look for particularly beautiful girls and see if anyone comes to help them. Gu Junqing thought for a moment, feeling that finding the protagonist like searching for a needle in a haystack was too difficult. Yang Xixing hesitated. So, young master, how beautiful do you think they should be? Yang Xixing didn't know what Gu Junqing intended to do, but he would just follow his instructions. Gu Junqing pondered for a moment, then his eyes lit up. Use the standard of the West District boss. Yang Xixing was taken aback and asked Gu Junqing with some hesitation. Whether it was last night's joint operation against the Wild Wolf Gang, or the way Gu Junqing mentioned her, it all indicated that Gu Junqing, and that mad tigress of the West District, Chen Lingyue, had an unusual relationship. Young Master Gu, what is your relationship with the West District boss? Seeing Yang Xixing's cautious probing, Gu Junqing narrowed his eyes. She is my senior sister. This statement shocked Yang Xixing greatly. Didn't this mean that Luoda City's underground forces were already effectively under Gu Junqing's control? This level of cunning and strategy made Yang Xixing's blood run cold. But then it occurred to him that the relationship of senior sister was clearly deeper than his own loyalty to Gu Junqing. Moreover, judging by how Gu Junqing stood up for Chen Lingyue, or how Chen Lingyue stood up for Gu Junqing, their relationship likely went beyond just that of senior and junior. Yang Xixing felt somewhat disheartened and asked recklessly, "Young Master Gu, in the future, do you want me, or your senior sister to control Luoda City's underground forces?" Gu Junqing chuckled lightly and took a small sip of tea. "Leader Yang, I originally intended to have you take control, but due to personal reasons, I can only let my senior sister assume this leadership position." Yang Xixing felt somewhat dejected, but he harbored no other thoughts. To be honest, without Gu Junqing's support behind him, he would never have achieved what he had today. "However, you should have some understanding of my senior sister's temperament. She won't actually manage affairs, it's just a nominal role. So, you will still be the one primarily handling operations." These words brought a flicker of delight to Yang Xixing's face. "Young Master Gu, are you serious?" "Of course. And Leader Yang, must your vision remain confined to just this small territory in Luodu?" Gu Junqing hinted at something more. "Young Master Gu, are you saying it's almost time to expand beyond Luodu?" Yang Xixing's eyes lit up. In the past, his strength was so limited that he couldn't even unify the underground forces in Luodu, let alone maintain his own small domain. But now, simply by following Gu Junqing, he could even expand his influence beyond Luodu. Such an increase in power was truly remarkable. Gu Junqing's foresight and magnanimity filled him with admiration. Of course, the unpredictable, almost tyrannical aura that Gu Junqing exuded also made him feel as though serving him was like walking alongside a tiger. Indeed, it's almost time. Gu Junqing's eyes gleamed faintly. His current network and strength only lacked support from the military. Once he secured that, the growth of his influence would face no further obstacles. By then, whether it was the Gu family or the underground forces in Luodu, both would experience rapid expansion. He might even reign over the entire Xia kingdom. Gu Junqing narrowed his eyes slightly. Of course, the current situation in Xia was still unclear. For instance, what was the status of Ji Ziyu's former sect, the Profound Heaven sect, in Xia? How many hidden sects existed? And would there truly be individuals who surpassed the 9th rank, as Ji Ziyu had mentioned? All of this remained unknown. It was this uncertainty that kept Gu Junqing from recklessly expanding his sphere of influence. "It seems it's time to harvest more luck from those children of destiny. Only by leveraging their luck can I strengthen my own power." Gu Junqing schemed inwardly. In truth, everything hinged on the growth of Gu Junqing's strength. If his power remained weak, all his plans would be empty talk. If he became invincible, all glory would be within his grasp. Yang Xixing, too, envisioned the future. Though his status in Luodu was now lofty, viewed on a national scale, his current strength and reputation were still insignificant. If his influence began to spread beyond Luodu, the situation would be entirely different. "Young Master Gu, I will manage your forces diligently," Yang Xixing declared resolutely, willing to sacrifice everything for this opportunity. Gu Junqing nodded with a faint smile. "Oh, by the way, young Master Gu, here are the new regulations we've drafted for the underground forces." Yang Xixing handed a stack of documents to Gu Junqing. "Since we've suffered losses from gambling and drugs, we plan to strictly prohibit such activities within our territory in Luodu. What do you think?" Yang Xixing watched Gu Junqing anxiously, unsure of his stance. After all, banning such products could mean sacrificing significant profits. "Of course, you can prohibit them. Do as you see fit. I won't involve myself directly. After all, you are the managers. My role is to manage you." Gu Junqing shook his head and didn't interrupt further. If he had to plan everything himself, where would he find the energy to flirt with the heroines? He had no intention of exhausting himself to the point of death for such matters. However, Yang Xixing appeared to be an honest man. He swore eternal enmity against gambling and drugs, yet never uttered a single word about the third vice. Chapter 121. Yang Xixing gave an awkward smile under Gu Junqing's peculiar gaze, unsure where he had gone wrong. "All right, it's fine. I'll take my leave now." Gu Junqing waved his hand, indicating Yang Xixing did not need to see him out. As if suddenly remembering something, Gu Junqing turned back and spoke to the bowing Yang Xixing. "Oh right. Remember, if you encounter any women as beautiful as my senior sister, be sure to notify me." "Yes, young Master Gu." Yang Xixing respectfully saw Gu Junqing out. After some thought, Gu Junqing decided to return to school first. The matters he had arranged were currently in intense preparation. With nothing urgent to attend to for now, he naturally planned to comfort the emotional needs of various female leads. Meanwhile, in a war-torn region abroad, the Wolfang mercenary base was located deep within dense mountain forests. It was extremely well hidden. At this moment, a man dressed in foreign special forces camouflage was quickly making his way back to base. His face was painted with green concealment paint, almost foreshadowing his future fate of being green. People along the way looked at him with awe and respect. This was their Wolfang leader, Yu Feng. The entire Wolfang mercenary base gathered special forces deserters from around the world, united by their respective goals, interests, and beliefs. They accepted commissions from all over the world, whether assassination, sniping, murder, protection, or other services. As long as the payment was sufficient, they never refused. There had even been instances where both sides in a conflict simultaneously hired Wolf Fang mercenaries. Of course, the final outcome was both sides being eliminated by Wolf Fang. Whether due to Wolf Fang mercenaries' greed or betrayal, their reputation in the industry could be described as notorious. If not for their high mission success rate, they probably would have had no clients left. And Yu Feng was their Wolf Fang mercenary leader, the Wolf King. Since everyone who came to Wolf Fang mercenaries were top-tier special forces deserters from various countries, each special forces soldier was at the elite soldier level. The reason Yu Feng became leader was because of his strength that surpassed everyone else's and his unruly attitude. He bowed to no one. Precisely because of him, Wolf Fang mercenaries had become infamous, though those within the group did not see it that way. After all, in this industry, strength was the prerequisite for solving everything. And Yu Feng ranked first among their group of elite soldiers, thus earning the title of Wolf Fang's #1 elite soldier. At this moment, Yu Feng quickened his pace as he entered his exclusive territory, his expression somewhat panicked. But when people around greeted him, he pretended nothing was wrong, responding cheerfully. Thus, no one in the mercenary base noticed anything amiss. He quickly arrived at his private room in the mercenary base, and began hastily packing his belongings. He was genuinely panicking now. He had messed up big time. The incident traced back to yesterday, when Yu Feng received a special mission to assassinate a foreign political figure. Seeing the substantial mission reward, Yu Feng naturally accepted it without hesitation. So he went to the location where this political figure was staying. Because the political figure was extremely cautious in his movements, Yu Feng could not snipe from a distance, and had to resort to close quarters assassination. He stealthily made his way to the political figure's location. For someone of his ability, this was child's play. Yu Feng had once, just for fun and to show off, sneaked into the presidential suite of a world power completely undetected. This very feat catapulted his reputation across the entire mercenary world, with assassination missions seeking him out. Over the years, the blood staining his hands had long become uncountable. Naturally, the wealth he amassed was equally immeasurable. His motivation was not solely monetary, it was the thrill of executing a kill and escaping unscathed. Yet now he found himself in a predicament. Upon arriving at the VIP's location, he discovered the official was engaged in a live-streamed discussion. Left with no choice, he slaughtered every person of importance on site. The live broadcast was unavoidable, but he had taken precautions with a disguise. Unbeknownst to him, the official was conversing with the president of Eagle Nation, the world's most powerful country. They were negotiating matters of international cooperation. No one could have anticipated Yu Feng's sudden intrusion, which not only disrupted the talks, but ended in a bloodbath. The scene was unimaginable. A mere mercenary had assassinated the most pivotal president of a nation, and the security of such a crucial territory proved so feeble that a single individual breached it effortlessly. It was only when Yu Feng glimpsed the face of one of his casually shot victims that a flicker of recognition struck him. After rifling through the man's identification, the gravity of his actions dawned on him. This was the president of Eagle Nation. If Eagle Nation uncovered the truth, evading their relentless pursuit would be nearly impossible. A wave of panic seized Yu Feng. After narrowly escaping his pursuers, he leaned against a tree and slowly sank to the ground. What should I do? Damn it, the intel never mentioned Eagle Nation's president would be there. Frustrated, Yu Feng punched the ground, his energy drained from the frantic chase. In the chaos, his Wolf Fang mercenary insignia had fallen off, likely triggering a warrant for his arrest by tomorrow. The only way now is to seek refuge in a nation with power comparable to Eagle Nation's. That might redirect the blame, making Eagle Nation suspect another country was behind it, potentially lightening the shade of my warrant. Otherwise, I'll probably never be able to show my face in public again. Resentment flashed in Yu Feng's eyes, but he was powerless to change the situation. Who could have predicted that a superpower's president would travel to such a country for critical talks, and that he, by chance, would take the mission and casually eliminate him? Not even a TV drama would dare script such a plot. Yu Feng's expression darkened. He vowed to uncover who issued the mission, convinced the client knew Eagle Nation's president was present. Moreover, many of Eagle Nation's guards had been dispatched elsewhere, leaving security lax. Only now did Yu Feng realize he had been set up. The true aim was the president's death. But even with this awareness, it changed nothing. The deed was done, and his only recourse was to plan his escape. Thus, he arrived at his current situation. Yu Feng returned to the Wolf Fang mercenary base. He could not let everyone evacuate. Perhaps someone could be framed for his crime. The conscience of this elite soldier had long been eroded by relentless killing, leaving him indifferent to the lives of his comrades. Chapter 122. Yu Feng pretended that the mission had been successfully completed without any incidents, walking into the mission assignment room with a smile on his face. He needed to retrieve some items that could prove his identity and other important belongings. Suddenly, a pleasant female voice called out to Yu Feng. Elite Soldier Yu, a friend's gang in Xia country called the Wild Wolf Gang has been wiped out. They are requesting your assistance for revenge. If the leader of the Wild Wolf Gang were here, he would recognize this female voice as the one who had answered his call. Xia country. A gleam flashed in Yu Feng's eyes. Why had he not thought of returning to his homeland? He still had some foundations in Xia country, and in recent years, Xia had grown rapidly, its national power gradually approaching that of Eagle country. As long as he returned to Xia country, he would not have to fear Eagle country's pursuit. He might even redirect the trouble, making Eagle country believe Xia was behind it all. All right, I understand, Hepburn. I may need to return to Su country secretly. Please erase all my travel records. Yu Feng smiled warmly at Hepburn. Hepburn acknowledged and carried out Yu Feng's instructions as requested. As his dedicated mission handler, she was aware of nearly all his affairs. What he regretted was never having been intimate with Hepburn. Gazing at her exquisitely angelic face, a blend of elegance, nobility, and purity, her slightly upturned eyes, delicate nose, squared shoulders, slender torso, and long legs, she seemed like an angel who had descended to earth. Within the Wolfang mercenary group, the simplest way to describe Hepburn's beauty was that God had kissed a girl's cheek. And that girl was Hepburn. Yu Feng's greatest regret was never having touched her. Even toward the leader of the Wolfang mercenaries, she maintained a cold demeanor. He watched her work with regret, his resolve wavering about whether to take her with him. But in the end, he hardened his heart. She could not leave, she had to die here to eliminate all risks. She knew too many of his secrets. Perhaps this was also why Hepburn disliked Yu Feng. So, she could only die here. With a sinister glint in his eyes, Yu Feng left the Wolfang mercenary base. Shortly after Yu Feng's departure, Eagle Country's second-in-command issued a global announcement vowing to strike against all attackers of foreign presidents. Nations worldwide trembled at the news. Daring to assassinate Eagle Country's president was unthinkable. Although Eagle Country no longer dominated the world as it once did, it remained a top-tier superpower. The president's murder had undoubtedly enraged this global powerhouse. Without any formal declaration, Eagle Country brazenly ordered an assault on the Wolfang mercenary base. The location of the Wolfang mercenary base was first targeted by Eagle Country's bombers in a surgical strike. Shells rained down upon the underground base, nearly leveling an entire mountain. The entire mountain shook violently. Many inside the mercenary base had no time to react before being obliterated by missiles. After the bombardment, Eagle Country soon dispatched troops to search the area, finding no survivors. Aside from those on external missions, every member of the Wolfang mercenaries had perished. The notorious Wolfang mercenary group had officially exited the stage of history. The people of Eagle Country had no idea that before their arrival, a small team had already conducted a search of the area. They wore specialized uniforms, not military attire, but lighter and more practical, clearly indicating they were a private force belonging to a certain family. This Wolfang mercenary group is truly ruthless, daring to assassinate even the president of Eagle Country. Who cares? It is none of our business. Our mission now is to check for any survivors or special documents. Exactly. This is the young master's order. We must keep a close watch on this mercenary base at all times. The team carefully navigated through the aftermath of the explosions, avoiding smoldering debris and deep craters as they advanced. They needed to complete their exploration quickly, or else any useful items would be taken by Eagle Country's military. The young master had instructed them to monitor the mercenary base closely and report any significant developments. Now was the perfect opportunity to earn merit. Captain, it seems there is nothing left. Corpses and rubble are everywhere, but we have not found anything useful. A teammate lifted a rock to search, only to discover a charred, still smoldering limb. He sighed and reported to the captain. The team captain, having found nothing either, was about to give up when he suddenly heard what sounded like a cry for help. The captain held his breath, listening intently to pinpoint the direction of the sound. It seemed to be a human voice. Hurry, there is a survivor over there. The captain immediately directed his team to investigate. Captain, come quickly. This person is severely injured. It is a woman. A team member discovered the source of the cries and called the captain over. The woman was Hepburn. She had sensed something was wrong at the first sound of the explosion and quickly retreated to a reinforced metal area, which had saved her life. However, she had still sustained serious injuries. Hearing that her cries for help had been answered, Hepburn lost consciousness, relieved. The captain examined her and determined that although her injuries were severe, she could still be saved. He urgently gathered all team members for an immediate evacuation. There was no time to search further. With a valuable discovery in hand, retreat was the best course of action. He had no desire to encounter Eagle Country's elite forces. Once the team reached their safe zone, the captain promptly connected to a satellite encrypted call. On the other end was none other than Gu Junqing, the eldest young master of the Gu family. Standing at attention, the captain reported the findings of their search to Gu Junqing. Young master, as per your instructions, we have been monitoring the Wolfang mercenary base. We found the entire base has been razed by Eagle Country, but we discovered one survivor. Oh, there is a survivor. Gu Junqing's interest was piqued. Yes, it is a woman. However, she is critically injured and still unconscious. Our team base does not have the facilities to treat her. We can only keep her stable. She will need to be brought back to the country for proper medical care. What about Yu Feng, the leader of the Wolfang mercenary? Gu Junqing inquired. Based on Yu Feng's track record, Gu Junqing suspected he was the elite soldier protagonist. Yu Feng's whereabouts are unknown. Our contacts within Eagle Country also confirmed that his DNA was not found among the bodies at the mercenary base. He likely escaped. The captain analyzed calmly. Gu Junqing showed a disdainful smile. Unwilling to take responsibility for his own actions, he dragged the entire mercenary base down with him. Truly befitting of an elite soldier protagonist, rational and ruthlessly detached. This made Gu Junqing even more interested in him. All right, send the wounded back to the main family. You can all return temporarily for now. After giving the order, Gu Junqing hung up the phone. Chapter 123. After hanging up the phone, Gu Junqing pondered for a moment and revealed a smile. He felt the world was becoming increasingly fascinating, because even he could not uncover the identity of the person who assigned Yu Feng the task of eliminating the political figure. It was as if someone were moving pieces on a grand chessboard, manipulating the entire world. Gu Junqing smiled leisurely, feeling that the world had finally begun to get interesting. As for the team he sent abroad to investigate the Wolf Fang mercenary corps, it was a secret force the Gu family had only recently begun assembling. Weapons, ammunition, salaries, and rewards were all provided by the Gu family, a special organization dedicated solely to serving Gu Junqing. Its members were top talents from various industries. What happened? You seem quite happy, Yu Miajin asked as soon as she entered the office, noticing Gu Junqing sitting in her chair. Nothing, just thought of something amusing, Gu Junqing replied with a smile as he watched Yu Miajin approach. He pulled her into his embrace. What is wrong, Miaojin? You look exhausted. It is all because of you. Yu Miajin sat on Gu Junqing's lap and pinched his ear. Because of me? Gu Junqing was somewhat surprised. He had been traveling around with his senior sister lately, and had not done anything to tire Yu Miajin out. Besides, the Yellow Emperor's inner cannon was a dual cultivation technique, not merely about absorbing yin to supplement yang, but beneficial to both parties' bodies. Gu Junqing could absorb the unique spiritual energy from Yu Miajin's identity as a female lead, while reciprocating with some of his essence. This caused subtle transformations in her body. Her skin became more delicate, firm, fair, and exquisitely beautiful. These changes imbued Yu Miajin with an enchanting charm, like a ripe peach waiting to be plucked. It could be said that Gu Junqing played a significant role in transforming Yu Miajin into the mature and alluring young woman she was now. If it were not for you deciding to participate in Tsinghua University's direct admission competition, which thrilled the university so much that they organized renowned and capable teachers from across Luodu to discuss exam questions for several days, Yu Miajin sighed helplessly. It was not physical exhaustion, but mental fatigue. As Gu Junqing's teacher, she had recently been bombarded with inquiries from many colleagues. Of course, she also faced considerable criticism, with whispers suggesting she only had her position because of her exceptional student, Gu Junqing. Some even gossiped that, given her stunning beauty, she must be having an affair with Gu Junqing, which was why he allowed her to be his teacher. Yu Miajin angrily refuted such rumors, though inwardly she felt guilty. Her relationship with Gu Junqing was not just an affair, it had already reached the depth of intimate companionship. This was what it meant to be unprincipled yet bold. Is that so? Then you have worked hard, Miao Jin. Let me give you a massage to relieve your fatigue, Gu Junqing said, picking her up and laying her on the office bed before starting to massage her. Yu Miajin moaned softly in comfort. How do you have this skill too? Skills are honed through practice, Gu Junqing replied, inwardly thinking he had another skill he had not practiced in a long time. In truth, Gu Junqing had always harbored a question about this matter. Why is it that when we were young, boys liked playing with video games and girls liked playing with dolls, but when we grow up, the opposite happens? After Gu Junqing finished giving Yu Miajin a massage, he watched her lying on the bed like a lazy cat. After being comfortably pampered, her face filled with a contented aftertaste. Gu Junqing raised an eyebrow. He never did anything without getting something in return. He leaned down close to Yu Miajin's ear and whispered, Teacher Yu, since you have enjoyed yourself, is it not my turn now? Upon hearing this, Yu Miajin quickly tried to get up and escape. She had no intention of fooling around with Gu Junqing in the office again. Unexpectedly, Gu Junqing grabbed her and pulled her back. Don't worry, Teacher Yu, this time I will do it myself. Her body was pinned down by Gu Junqing, unable to move at all. Feeling her clothes gradually disappearing, Yu Miajin could only sigh inwardly, thinking somewhat dejectedly, as a teacher, I am destined to have my heart worn out by this student, Gu Junqing. But then she remembered her role as a teacher. How could she lower her head in front of a student? To Gu Junqing's surprise, she forcefully flipped over on top of him and whispered seductively in his ear, I will do it myself. And so, Yu Miajin once again became a popsicle. The two entangled themselves passionately. After a long while, they finally came back to their senses. Miao Jin, you should not be tired now, right? Gu Junqing rubbed his slightly sore lower back and spoke to Yu Miajin as if reflecting on something. Yu Miajin rolled her eyes, gritted her teeth, and bit Gu Junqing lightly on the shoulder to vent her frustration over his earlier antics. Now she had no energy left to teach her class. Has the former Dr. Gu now transformed into Master Gu? Last time, I told the students that Teacher Yu was sick and had been taken by our Dr. Gu for an acupuncture session. What excuse will you use this time? Was Teacher Yu tired and got pulled away by Master Gu for a massage? After saying this, Yu Miajin bit Gu Junqing's shoulder again in anger, though she did not use much force, still caring for him. Gu Junqing could only offer an awkward smile, but then Yu Miajin suddenly frowned, as if she had realized something. She looked at Gu Junqing with a peculiar gaze. Gu Junqing, be honest, do you have some kind of special fetish? Gu Junqing, seeing her strange expression, felt puzzled. Although he did have some particular preferences, they were mostly within the realm of normal human desires, just certain types of clothing, like black stockings and such. Surely that is pretty common and normal, right? Yu Miajin was not letting him off the hook, and revealed the secret she had uncovered. Junqing, do you have a particular liking for the teaching profession? Gu Junqing was taken aback, thinking she was asking a serious question. Yes, of course. Teachers educate and nurture others, dedicating themselves. How could I not like that? Gu Junqing nodded in agreement. After all, the person in front of him was a teacher, so he naturally would say what she wanted to hear. That was one area where Gu Junqing was always considerate. And he was not entirely wrong. Had not Yumiajin just dedicated herself a moment ago? She even took the initiative for the popsicle. His words made Yumiajin nod in approval. But soon, she rolled her eyes again, and shot him a disdainful look. Don't tell me you do not understand what I mean. Gu Junqing could only scratch his head. It seemed he had not managed to evade the answer. He had wanted to change the subject. How did you find out? Yumiajin smiled, her eyes curving like crescents. Her tone, full of allure, made Gu Junqing's lower abdomen tighten. Because I noticed that you usually call me Miao Jin. But when we are doing that, you always call me Teacher Yu. Gu Junqing rubbed his chin thoughtfully and realized it was indeed true. As expected of a teacher, always keen on observing students' expressions or picking up on subtle inconsistencies in their words. So meticulous. Chapter 124. Gu Junqing gently massaged Yumiajin's calf to help her regain enough strength to stand. After all, they were in their final year of high school, and he could not always substitute teach for her, although the students would not have minded. Still, she insisted on teaching the classes herself, as she took her teaching responsibilities very seriously. After the massage, once Gu Junqing confirmed Yumiajin could manage on her own, he left the office. Having some of his little quirks exposed by Yumiajin left him feeling somewhat embarrassed. After all, her observations were undeniable. Whether teasing Yumiajin or interacting with Jizuyu, he could not ignore the peculiar impulses that arose within him. It was like the Tang monk encountering a female demon. The white dragon horse knew better than anyone whether the monk was tempted. The Tang monk himself might not have been as aware as his horse. Wouldn't the horse know exactly how uncomfortable its own back felt? Of course, Gu Junqing was fully aware of his own impulses when around Yumiajin or Jizuyu. So when Yumiajin discovered his peculiar preference for betraying the master and destroying the ancestors, embracing the role of an ungrateful disciple, his embarrassment was intense enough to dig a 3-bedroom apartment underground. Naturally, with Gu Junqing's exceptional strength, looks, and abilities, his thick skin was no exception. He quickly composed himself. So what if she knew? If needed, he could always find a way to keep Yumiajin's mouth shut in the future. Returning to the classroom, Gu Junqing was surprised to see Li Xixue, whom he had not met in a long time. Murong Wan and Luo Ningyu were talking to Li Xixue, but they seemed frustrated, unable to win the argument. Gu Junqing rubbed his forehead. Was today destined to be another battlefield? He even considered turning around and leaving, as such confrontations were better avoided. Noticing Gu Junqing, Li Xixue's eyes lit up. It had been so long since she last saw him, and phone calls were her only solace for missing him. Junqing, you are here. Li Xixue immediately stood up, rushed over, linked arms with him, and led him back to their seats. It seems Xixue has filled out a bit more in the month we have been apart, Gu Junqing mused silently, comparing her current figure to how she looked a month ago. Murong Wan and Luo Ningyu's cold snort snapped him out of his wandering thoughts. Did something happen between you again? Gu Junqing sighed helplessly. Even the wisest person would struggle in such a tense situation. Hearing this, Li Xixue clung to Gu Junqing's arm and lifted her chin proudly, like a white swan stretching its neck. Luo Ningyu sneered at her posture. Neck stretched out so long, like a duck waiting to be slaughtered. Li Xixue retorted mockingly, all bark and no bite. If you have the guts, do something. Enraged, Luo Ningyu rolled up her sleeves and clenched her small fists, ready to charge forward, but Murong Wan quickly grabbed her other arm. As a young lady from a wealthy family, Li Xixue had learned some combat skills, even if she was not fond of studying. She could easily take on 2 Luo Ningyus. Brother Junqing, nothing happened. These 2 concubines were just fighting over my position as the queen, Li Xixue said nonchalantly. Her 2 simple sentences left Gu Junqing utterly speechless. Is this some kind of playing house? Even the position of empress is being brought up? Of course, Gu Junqing understood what she meant, as it was all about the main wife, second wife, third wife, and so on. But he had not even considered these things yet. Was Li Xixue already planning ahead for him? Gu Junqing was truly at a loss for words. The last time he felt this speechless was when he heard 2 women discussing the role of the main wife. And now, it was happening again. This time, both Luo Ningyu and Murong Wan were displeased. Tisk, still dreaming of being an empress? Why don't you go find a truck to crash into? Maybe you'll actually transmigrate to some dynasty and get to be an empress. Luo Ningyu, held back by Murong Wan, could not resist firing the first shot, her tone dripping with resentment. That's right, why are you clinging to my Junqing? You are not worthy of him, Murong Wan chimed in, demonstrating the power of sisterly solidarity. After speaking, she even threw a flirtatious glance at Gu Junqing. Perhaps women are born with an innate ability to charm men. Even though it was her first time batting her eyes, Murong Wan executed it perfectly, sending a shiver down Gu Junqing's spine. He did not dare respond. Right now, the 3 of them were in the heat of battle, and if he intervened now, it would be like adding fuel to the fire. Taking anyone's side would only backfire, disappointing and alienating the others. Would Gu Junqing do such a thing? Of course not. What he loved most was warming others' hearts with his presence, so how could he ever let anyone feel cold-hearted toward him? Moreover, after suffering the consequences of a few female showdowns, Gu Junqing had made a point of studying how to handle such situations. First, he needed to assess their personalities and their importance in his heart. For example, if Li Xixue and Lin Qingzhou had a conflict, Gu Junqing would definitely side with Lin Qingzhou, and find a way to drive Li Xixue away. After all, Lin Qingze was still young. Even though her art skills were impressive, they were nowhere near Li Xixue's level. It was better to help the underdog level the playing field. Besides, Lin Qingze had a delicate temperament and relied entirely on Gu Junqing. If he did not take her side, her ever-present insecurity would only deepen, possibly even leading to despair, especially with Lin Tian's example fresh in her mind. But if it were Chen Lingyue, his senior sister, and Li Xixue clashing, Gu Junqing's first priority would be to protect Li Xixue's life. Li Xixue's mediocre skills were only enough to deal with girls like Luo Ningyu and Murong Wan. Against Chen Lingyue, one slap from her could probably take half of Li Xixue's life. And given Chen Lingyue's pride as a female leader in the underworld, if Li Xixue dared to talk back to her the way she did to Luo Ningyu, Chen Lingyue might actually strike her down with a single blow. So, if Chen Lingyue and Li Xixue ever clashed, his first move would undoubtedly be to protect Li Xixue. Gu Junqing recorded all these study notes, along with simulated scenarios of potential future encounters between the female leads, in the system's built-in notebook. This way, if such situations suddenly arose, he could quickly refer to his notes for guidance. He titled this notebook The Brutal Shura Field Among Female Leads. Chapter 125. Ha, you two little girls should be content with Junqing's affection instead of being so picky. If you ask me, you should work on your figures until they are as good as mine. That is what Junqing likes. Li Xixue proudly thrust out her chest, as if challenging Luo Ningyu and Murong Wan. Luo Ningyu naturally refused to back down. Was her D-cup size for nothing? Murong Wan watched the two comparing sizes with tearful eyes. She felt she was not even qualified to participate in this battle between best friends, only fit to cheer from the sidelines. Turning to Gu Junqing with a particularly pitiful look, he quickly comforted her. Didn't I tell you? I like you no matter what. Hearing this, Murong Wan immediately joined the fray. Perhaps when it comes to shura fields between women, even the most aloof girl can get drawn in. 3 women make a drama. The ancients truly did not deceive us. So that is how you are, Murong Wan. I thought you were above such competitions, and just helping your best friends, never expecting you to make covered advances. Li Xixue grew furious seeing Murong Wan's seductive gaze at Gu Junqing. See, Junqing never looks at figures. He values me for who I am. Murong Wan seemed like a different person, as she proudly told Li Xixue. She was the first female lead whose affection for Gu Junqing had reached 90. Deeply immersed in love. Gu Junqing's expression was complicated as he lowered his head in thought. Truth be told, he did care about figures. It is just that Murong Wan had that just right proportion, while Luo Ningyu and Li Xixue were slightly more advanced. Watching the 3 women's endless battle made Gu Junqing both nervous and somewhat thrilled. He felt that if a more formidable woman were here, like his senior sister Chen Lingyue, these 3 might feel threatened enough to unite against her. After all, Chen Lingyue's temperament and charm were beyond what these 3 still immature girls could match. The scene would likely become 3 women versus Lingyue. The surrounding classmates did not even dare glance in their direction. If Gu Junqing were a deity, then his women naturally were too. This scene was equivalent to a war among gods. Mere mortals should keep their distance. Only some self-proclaimed beauties gritted their teeth with handkerchiefs, wishing they had the qualification to compete for Gu Junqing too. I am currently the female CEO under Gu Junqing's command. What positions do you hold now? Seeing she could not gain an advantage in the prolonged battle, Li Xixue played her trump card. After all, she had already started working hard for Gu Junqing's career, though all the dirty and tough work in the company was done by Su Chen. Especially recently, Su Chen seemed pumped up as if seeking revenge against someone, working frantically, and vowing to make the company bigger and stronger. Though Su Chen used to look at her with desire in his eyes, now there was none, like a eunuch who had purified his heart and desires. But this made her feel much more comfortable. Every time Su Chen looked at her before, she would feel nauseous all day. Lately, everything tasted delicious to her, which was why she had the mood and time to come to school and spar with Murong Wan and Luo Ningyu. Now she did not even need to push Su Chen, he advanced on his own. The old Su Chen wanted everything. The current Su Chen had no choice. Is that so? Isn't it just because you are not good at studying? Whether you attend school or not makes no difference to you. That is all you are capable of. Murong Wan looked down at Li Xixue with a mocking gaze. No matter what, she had always maintained the second-place academic ranking. If it were not for recently being pushed down by someone named Ming Ren, she would have been even closer to Gu Junqing. This statement did not hurt Murong Wan as much, but it dealt significant damage to Luo Ningyu. Although her academic performance was much better than Li Xixue's, she still lagged somewhat behind Gu Junqing and the others. Her abilities were not sufficient yet to manage an entire company. This time, it was Luo Ningyu's turn to look tearful, her gaze at Gu Junqing pitiful and pleading. Gu Junqing had no choice but to comfort Luo Ningyu. After receiving reassurance from him, Luo Ningyu repeatedly challenged Li Xixue despite previous failures. Gu Junqing was inwardly astonished, truly worthy of being the harem master from the original work, who could suppress Su Chen's numerous harem members. Li Xixue's capability was evident. Even Murong Wan and Luo Ningyu combined could not out-argue her. This level of harem rivalry skill, he would call it currently unmatched. Now even the female leads are starting to compete internally? Gu Junqing thought with mixed feelings. Murong Wan and Luo Ningyu watched Li Xixue's smug expression with frustration, but truly had no way to counter her. What? Can't win the argument, so you need Junqing's comfort now? 2 against 1 and still getting double countered. Do you even know how to play? This time, Murong Wan and Luo Ningyu finally decided to bring out their ultimate move. However, they did not dare say it openly in public. They could only lean close to Li Xixue and whisper. Li Xixue initially guarded against any underhanded tactics. Seeing they just wanted to talk, she looked at them disdainfully, curious what these two, whose harem rivalry skills were not half as good as her father's concubines, wanted to say. Honestly, she was starting to feel invincible. We have a multi-billion-dollar project with Gu Junqing, you know. Murong Wan's sly smile made Li Xixue sense something was off. Yeah, we have even provided Junqing with all sorts of services together. Luo Ningyu smilingly explained to Li Xixue some details about their night sharing a bed with Gu Junqing. This left Gu Junqing speechless and made Li Xixue feel deeply wronged. She had been diligently watching Su Chen on Gu Junqing's orders, never expecting these two girls would actually sneak around with Gu Junqing while she was away. The injustice made Li Xixue almost cry. She had only kissed Gu Junqing, while these two clearly had more intimate experiences with him. She could not accept it. Murong Wan and Luo Ningyu initially felt triumphant seeing Li Xixue's expression, but watching her near tears look, they realized that although Li Xixue was sharp-tongued, she did not actually reject them, clearly treating this harem rivalry as just a way for the three to interact. They hurried to comfort her. Don't cry. How about next time we do it together? Yeah, or next time there's an event, we can all participate. Gu Junqing, seeing Li Xixue actually shed 2 golden tears, wanted to step forward and comfort her, but hearing Murong Wan's words, he immediately stopped. Clearly, comfort between the girls would be more effective. It definitely was not, because he was fantasizing about a future 3-way bed-sharing scenario. Under the two girls' consolation, Li Xixue eventually recovered. She agreed to their proposal of doing activities together. They even exchanged contact information on their phones. They even created a group chat for the 3 sisters on a messaging app, without adding Gu Junqing. This piqued Gu Junqing's curiosity, so much so that in the future, when Gu Junqing discovered they had actually created 4 separate group chats among the 3 of them, he fell into silent bewilderment. Is this just how women are? Gu Junqing was utterly baffled, his mind filled with question marks. To be continued. Hope you liked today's video. Join the community by subscribing and dropping a like. I'll be back with another update as soon as possible. See you then.